Happy Sunday and welcome to our weekly tarot reading. We're going to see what's up for everyone, all the signs this upcoming week. So starting with today, going all the way to Saturday of next week. All right, so if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can find out all my deets and information down below by checking out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. Maybe also check out YouTube membership, Patreon, Leon Mystery School, Desert Cauldron, and maybe even checking out the newsletter. All right, so I have all my decks, all types of good stuff all set up for you guys. We are having a full moon slash lunar eclipse in Taurus fairly shortly. So starting tomorrow, I believe. Yay! All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me just readjust myself here. So I missed you guys so much because, well, we were up at the property this past week, and we'll be up at the property again next week, but it's basically all this back and forth will end by the end of the month, and then I'll pretty much, I guess, hopefully be doing my live streamings on a regular basis again. But it's just while we go back and forth, it's kind of a long drive out to the property. It's just over 3 hours to get out there, and then work on the homestead a little bit and get it all set up so it's ready for us to just live there full time. But yeah, our deadline is the end of this month, so I'm super excited. It's gonna be here before we know it, basically like 3 more weeks. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and cast a circle. You know what I forgot? I forgot the lighter for my fire. All right, so we're all going to grab a lighter. Give me just a second. Yay! Lighter, here it is. All right, here we go. Oop. Okay. All right, we got our lighter, we have our fire. I think I left myself a couple of candles here in the apartment. All the rest of my candles and stuff like that are up at the property. So let's dive into this awesome purple candle, pulling in those upper chakras, and let's use the fire element to burn away anything that we don't need at this time, anything that would impede our ability to read our cards, receive those messages. So we're just calling in that element of fire and a little bit of that element of air with my piece of Palo Santo, just clearing away what no longer serves us, anything blocking us from our messages. There we go. So nice, so nice. All right, and then I took some of my other moon water up to the property, but this is some of the moon water I have left here in the apartment. So this is actually storm water. This is from leftover from the monsoons that we had here in the Phoenix Valley of Arizona. And yeah, I think it's kind of cool to bring some of the valley storm water and bring it up to the mountains. Anyway, let's go ahead and use some of that storm water to shake up the energy and just wash away anything that doesn't serve us at this time. All right, shake it up, shake it up. Nice. Woo, that water feels good. Okay. And then lastly, for a little bit of earth energy, I'm borrowing a wand from Desert Cauldron. Butterfly, how are you? Happy November to you. So this is, well, I think it's one of our, maybe it's one of our last antelope wands. So this is antelope bone, and then we have a grackle feather. We have a lot of grackles here in the Phoenix Valley, and so I was gifted one of their feathers. And then this is a beautiful chlorite included quartz. And of course, any animal parts that we have in our shop, anything that we've created with them, was ethically obtained, because remember, harm to none. So I'm going to use this very grounded yet sort of airy energy to help call in the 4 directions, starting at the north. Here we go. Calling in the elementals of the north to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the east to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the south to help us to cast our circle today. I'm calling in the elementals of the west to help us to cast our circle today. Our circle is cast, let our work begin, and so it is. Yay! All right, so let's put this baby aside. All right, so how was Samhain, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, Dia de los Niños, Diwali? How was all that stuff? So let me know. Did you guys go celebrate? Did you guys go do something? Did you just chillax at home? Let me know. Let me know. And then, you guys, anything cooked up this weekend or maybe this week? For us, like I said, we're heading back up to the property. There's a few things that we ordered. Since we don't have the mailing address up there yet, anything that we order, we have to make sure that we're here for. So we ordered a few items that are, I guess, they're not fun technically. They're like adulting items. They're homesteading items. So I'm just waiting on a few of those things. And then after we get them, then we'll head up to the property next week. And then let's see, what's the plan for this trip? I'm updating you guys. We have to do a little fix on our septic pipe that we have running from the RV to the septic. We ended up leveling out the RV, so it shifted the balance of the pipe, and it sprung a leak in a couple of areas, so we have to fix that. The pop-outs on our RV, we found out just the way they're constructed, if there's heavy rains, it seeps inside and gets the rug wet, which is not good. We don't want mildew or anything like that. So I'm trying out a fix with some heavy duty like marine tape, so that way when it rains, it's not going to come off. But we'll see. I don't know. I want to try the simple fixes first before I pour a lot of money into something. And then we bought a filter for our well water, because although our well water is safe to drink and it's going to last us generations and generations, it has a rotten egg smell. And that's just because we have a lot of iron and manganese and sulfur, and so there's like a chemical reaction that kind of takes place with the bacteria. It creates was it hydro something sulfuric something. So anyway, it creates the rotten egg smell basically. And although it's not harmful, I don't want to drink rotten egg. So we got a filter, and a lot of people have said that this is a great filter for well water. It gets rid of that rotten egg smell and, any impurities or anything like that, because we already have a filter on it. It just didn't take away the stink. So that's what we're going to be working on. I am getting a washer, like it's a portable washer that'll fit in the RV. And so that's coming before we leave. And then I bought a clothesline. So that's what we're working on. And solar. Oh, we're working on solar. We were figuring out kind of just how we want to set up our system. Obviously, things can get pricey, especially when you have you're paying other people to do it. But if you can figure out how to do many of these things yourself, you save yourself a lot of money. And since I'm not like just exuding cash, I want to figure out how I can save money. So so we're going to be working on solar and stuff like that. So I am excited. I am very excited. This has been an amazing adventure thus far, and it will continue to be an amazing adventure. I'll keep you guys updated. So, all right, let's go back here. Hey, it's Sheldon. Hello, everyone. Happy November. How are you? Butterfly said, aside from the birthday, that's right, you had your birthday. October felt like kind of a letdown. Too warm to be autumn, so everything felt wrong. Well, I hope it's cooled off by now, because it's pretty cool here, in Tempe. And I think up at the property, it's already snowed once. So I'm kind of happy with the cooler weather. Let's see. And by the way, I hope that you had a wonderful birthday. V, oh my gosh, how are you, girl? Butterfly said, full moon is going to be a doozy. It's already so bright and sleep is all bananas. Dude, has anybody else been having like weird, funny dreams? Like my dreams are funny. Like I'm laughing maniacally in my dreams. So I'm wondering if anybody else is having those. Susie, hey, how are you? Lisa, hey. Princess, what's her name? Says good morning. Agreed. The weather in Tempe is perfect. Yes. Oh, Butterfly said it's in the 80s. Well, that would be perfect for me too. I am a tropical people, you know. Susie said I just woke up like half an hour ago. Well, hey, just no need to get out of bed. You could just listen from bed, just cozy up, you know, get yourself some tea. Susie says she never sleeps in. Well, it could be already those full moon vibes coming in, that full moon in Taurus slash lunar eclipse, which is what I want to base our spread on today for our weekly spread. Kind of see how that energy, we can utilize it as we move through our week. But before we get to that, let me grab my notes here. I said I wanted to quickly maybe share that the weird dreams in case you guys have been having weird dreams too. So, what was it, yesterday? Okay, so this would have been Friday night because I woke up on Saturday and I was relaying my dream. Okay, so I had this dream that I'm in this van for some reason, and there's these two adults, and one of them is actually an actor, the father from Poltergeist, if you guys remember that movie. Does everybody remember Poltergeist? Anyway, it's the movie that scarred me for life. So the father, he's in my dream, but him and this other guy are being like children, and they're like, you know, like pushing each other, and like he touched me, no, he touched me, like they're being big kids, and these are men, but they're in my dream, and they're in the van, and I'm telling them to be quiet, sit down, put on your seatbelt. I'm talking to them like they're children. And I have my two big stuffed animals. I have Mr. Diego, which maybe I should have brought him for the live chat. And I have Albert. And so it's my giant teddy bear and my giant bunny. And I put these giant stuffed animals between them to separate them because they couldn't keep their hands off of each other. They were like, you know, play fighting or whatever like that. Yeah, Mr. Diego. And then let's see what happens. Somehow, like, due to their shenanigans, the police pull us over, and the police officer is saying something, and then he realizes that these two people, they're just like really big kids. They're like putting their fingers up each other's noses, and he's like, I guess I'll just let you go. And I'm like, okay. And I don't remember the rest of the dream, but I remember it was hilarious. Like, these people were cracking me up, like just being how immature and just like childish they were being. It was just a really fun dream. Cut to the next day, Saturday morning. I tell this dream to James, and I'm just like, this is such a weird dream, you know? And it's like, it makes no sense to me. So I go to the post office before I go to yoga, you know, to drop off some of our, stuff that we sell. And I'm leaving the parking lot, and there's a VW bus that's like all painted Ronald McDonald colors. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And there's these two kids that get into the VW bus, like with their, I think it's their grandma's VW bus. And they're doing the same things that I saw the two men doing in my dream. So I see the kids like play fighting, and he touched me. And I'm like, they're acting just like my dream. And so, and they're not in a van, but they're in a bus, a VW bus. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And so I pull out of the lot, and they go one way. I'm going to go the other way because I'm going to get on the freeway to go to yoga. And across the street, there's one of those come rent at our apartment signs. And my giant Albert bear is sitting there. I mean, it's not my bear, but I mean, it's a bear that looks just like Albert. Is sitting there, and it's the same one like from my dream. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And then I get to the light, and a cop car goes by, and usually we don't see a whole lot of cops here in Tempe, but cop car goes by, and it's like it all came together. There was the police officer, there's the teddy bear, there's like the two kids acting silly, and I happened to look at the clock, and it was 9/11, and you guys know that I'm stalked by the number 9/11. So then when I get home, and you know, the whole day goes by, and I had forgotten to tell James about all the connections I made. So I'm telling it to him, then he's like, oh, that's interesting. And he looks at the clock, he says, oh, hey, it's 9/11. So by the time I finished relaying all the things, it was now 9/11 at night. And when I put it all together, it was 9/11 in the morning. And I'm like, like, I don't know what all that meant, but that was interesting. I think it was interesting. Just thought I would relay it, and that's the crazy dreams I'm having. Let's see. Let's go back here. Susie said Albert, And Sheldon said, I had a great Halloween since I need my readings since I got my friends on the other side. Nice. That's excellent. Lisa said, I've had dreams that were so lucid, the waking state seems like the artificial state. Exactly. In a lot of my dreams lately, like not just even coming up to the full moon, I swear that I am actually awake in them. And normally I do a lot of lucid dreaming, but it's so real. It's not that I know that I'm dreaming, like I think that I'm awake. And when I wake up, this feels like the opposite. Like it felt more real in my dream than it feels like I am here. So yeah, that's been happening. Susan said, I fell asleep listening to a YouTube channel and then I was at a buffet with them. I don't go to buffets, like a sizzler. Wow. Hey, Michelle. Hey, how are you? Susie said, 9/11 was on my phone staring at me a few minutes ago. Ah. Whoa. Dude. Okay. So yeah, I'm enjoying the energy. I'm enjoying all of it. I'm enjoying the crazy dreams. Okay, so before we get started into the reading, I always talk about the Mayan date first. So I am a Mayan astrologer. I do teach Mayan astrology at the Leon Mystery School alongside other teachers and their subjects. And I like to talk about the energy through Mayan astrology for the week before we do the reading. And so today, the Mayan date is 10 Manik. And Manik is all about law and authority. And we mix that with number 10, which is all about equanimity and balance and equality and all of that. And so we have to think about being lawfully balanced within ourselves. And when there isn't a lawful balance within the self, it's very hard to see that lawful balance on the outside of ourselves. So what do we mean by lawful balance? Like, is it the law that the laws that we have in our cities and states? No, but it's the laws and the ways in which we govern ourselves. So it's our core beliefs. It's our personal justice system for us. And when that's out of balance, and the way something like that could be out of balance is when the scales are not balanced between the ego and the heart. And so if our intuition or our spirit self is not balanced with the human self, you have an imbalance in that justice system or that lawful system within the human body. And you might start to see that, as within, so without, you might start to see that imbalance on the outside as well. So if you're governed more by the ego than the heart at the moment, you might notice that a lot of people around you may be more governed by the ego. You might see more egotistical acts going on and a lot less heart-based. And then the opposite is also true. If there's a lot less ego and a lot more heart, then you might see a lot more heart-based activities going on than you might see ego-based activities. And so today is a wonderful day to take a look into your own lawful system, your own justice system within you. How much of it is ego, how much of it is your highest self, your intuition, your soul, whatever you want to call it, and how is your outer world a reflection of what's going on in your inner world. So if you see a lot of injustice going on, if you see just everything just looks ego, then this is a great day for us to put aside the ego and find out where are we having an excess of ego then, because obviously if we're seeing it a lot around us, then there must be some sort of imbalance within us as well, because everything is a mirror. And that's a great thing, because if it is a mirror, then it's just letting us know the things that we have to maybe adjust or the things that we have to heal. So this is an excellent thing. All right. And then as we go on through the week, we get into 3 Ben. Ben is the family sign. And the number 3 is difficult though. But let's see, let's go here. Susie said, I bought the best frankincense incense of all places, Amazon, by a company called HEM. So inexpensive, but just wanted to share. It's like $5. Yeah, you know what? I think I actually had some hem incense before, and they sell a lot of it in Old Town San Diego. I do say that is a nice smelling incense, and it is nice and fragrant, which I love. All right, so ending the week, Saturday of next week, we're going to be in 3 Ben, which means that we'll be ending a Trecena. We'll be starting a brand new Trecena. That Trecena is going to be in the week of Chuen. And so that's kind of like the week lord, or the lord of the week is Chuen. And Chuen is the artist, all about being creative, how to take seemingly opposing things and make some beauty out of it. So think about the artist this upcoming week, and how can you weave that artistry into everything that you do. It doesn't need to be I would say like a physical art, or like somebody does music or painting, but art as in movement, as in words, as in energy. How can you make that creative? And when we get into 3 Ben, the number 3 is a difficult number. It's not meant to cause you problems, but when you're presented roadblocks, when you're presented challenges, let's say the world presents you, or the universe presents you a Rubik's Cube, it's not meant to hurt you. It's meant to help you get creative, help you to see where maybe the ego's trying to push through something that maybe doesn't need to be difficult. Maybe there's a workaround there. Maybe there's a way that we can transmute it. There's not always just one way, to get something done. So if you're finding that there's some roadblocks or some issues when it comes to the family, whether it be your blood related family, your soul family, your family of kittens and dogs, or whatever it may be, then what can we do creatively that could be a workaround? How can we work through that? Is this a day just to sit home? Is this a day for reflection? Is it a day to, go, go, go? In which case, you have to listen to your intuition on that. But get creative definitely during that 3 Ben next Saturday. All right, let's see. Susie says, I like that. It is good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and then getting into the herb of the week. Many of you guys like that herb of the week. Well, we have a very special herb of the week. And that herb is, hold on, let me pull it out of my little thing here. Marijuana. So yes, I don't have much left, but this lasted me, I don't know, like 2 months or something. Just a little bit. Anyway, so marijuana. First, I want to talk about maybe some of the physical properties of it, and then maybe talk about some of the magical properties of it. So, as you know, many people take marijuana for its either THC content or its CBD content. A lot of people use it for aches and pains. Some people use it for PMS. There are many people who are cancer patients that will use it for pain relief. My uncle, who is HIV positive, he uses it to stimulate his hunger, because on many of the medications that he's on, it takes away his ability to eat. It does make him very sick, many of those medications, and marijuana is the only thing that settles his stomach, gives him the appetite, so he doesn't waste away on the very heavy meds that he's been on for quite some time, actually since the 90s. So there's a lot of medicinal uses for it. But magically speaking, there are many uses for just kind of getting you out of the ego state. And I know that's something that people struggle with sometimes. Like even my best friend Steph, she says, oh yeah, I tried weed like maybe once or twice, but she said she just didn't like how she felt like she was losing control. And I understand that. Like when I very first tried weed, I was like, whoa, what is this sensation? Like I kind of feel like it felt like there was a fight between my soul, like that part of me that just loves to astral project and just likes to go off and go be free outside the human body, and then the part of me, which is my ego, that is like, no, I must have utter and total dictatorship control over everything that's being done in this 3D world. And it was having a hard time relinquishing that control to my highest self. And I think that sometimes people struggle with that balance with marijuana, because it is opening. It does allow you to expand, see things from a different angle. If you want to use marijuana during shadow work, that's really good, because it helps you to hopefully put that ego aside so you can more clearly see situations or programming so that you can more easily work on them. It helps some people to unlock some of their creativity. Not that the creativity was quote unquote locked up, but sometimes our ego puts a pretty good padlock on a lot of the more spirited part of ourselves. And so you know, if you want to incorporate it into your magical practice, you know, you can go ahead and do that. Some of you guys already do. So it does have a lot of those properties, just a lot of opening up some of the higher chakras. I would say for me, I need to find more grounding stones. I have to have a lot of grounding around me when I have marijuana, because otherwise I'm up in the ethers as I already am. And so it enhances that part of me. And that's what it does. It tends to enhance some of the moods or the consciousness level that you're kind of already at. It just kind of tends to enhance all of that. Now, you don't have to have obviously the marijuana with the THC. You can have CBD, and like I said, that's also good for pain relief and all of that, but it's technically still the cannabis plant, but there, of course, there's the male and the female. And that's also something that maybe you want to incorporate magically into your practice is, you know, the feminine form of the plant, the male form of the plant. I would say use your own intuition with that. And actually with any of the herbs that I talk about, always use your intuition and what feels best. You know, one person could say, oh, this is great for this magical, you know, purpose. But if that doesn't feel right to you, use it in a way that does feel right to you. All right. And you can also use it as an offering as well. So, all right, let's go back here. Michelle says, I get paranoid and it actually lets my ego take control and instill doubt if it has THC, and then CBD is fine. Whoa, interesting. Lisa said, weed is the only thing that helps my anxiety. It's not strictly legal in the UK, but I think the healing properties of it are generally accepted here. Wow. Yeah. It's legal here in Arizona. It's just they put so many taxes and everything on it. They make it super expensive. Where James remembers, like in California, it's way cheaper in California, and it's, I think, way more like accepted. I guess it just kind of depends on your state and your region. And it's so funny that there's so much politics and feeling around a plant. You know, it's like if someday everybody just decided they were going to condemn lavender, like, oh, lavender, you know, it's a sleep aid, oh, that's going to put everybody to sleep, it's bad, you know, and all of a sudden we're going to tax all the lavender. It's like, it's just interesting, you know, depending on like what we're going to decide to demonize. But again, all politics aside, always listen to your intuition. You know, no matter what people are saying, the government's saying something, always listen to your intuition when it comes to plants, and always research to make sure that they are toxic or not, because obviously you don't want to poison yourself. So yes. Okay. Let's see. Susie said, George's friend, who is 70, has spent $60,000 over his lifetime on it. They deliver to his house, but the needs it for anxiety, and he's a nice man. Whoa. You know what was interesting? It says he is good at stocks, so he can afford it. I guess so. Wow, my goodness, that is a good amount of cash. When I was growing up, my family was like, oh, you know, say no to all drugs. But we learned in school that drugs is anything that alters the mind or mood. So coffee is a drug, cigarettes are a drug, marijuana is a drug, the medication they give you at the doctor's office is a drug. You know, there's all these drugs, but sometimes when people say drugs, like, it's hard to be, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, which drugs are you talking about? Oh, anyway, so in my family, it was like, oh, drugs are bad. But my dad had an addiction to coffee. And then we had smokers in the family, but it was like, but drugs are bad. And so, cut to, this was a few years ago or something, I'm at a family, it's Christmas, family Christmas. And we're all around the table. It's like my dad and my stepmom and my aunt and my uncle and like my interesting cousin, my brother and everything. And we're all just sitting there, and some people are starting to bicker at each other because, you know, family gatherings and And so then my uncle, the one I was telling you, has HIV. He was like, hey guys, I have gummies. Does anybody want a gummy? And they're like, oh yes. And I had never seen my family use marijuana before. Like, I thought they were all just a bunch of goody two shoes, because they're always like, we don't do drugs and like, we don't do this and that, you know. And it was just awesome. And then everybody was stoned at family Christmas, and it was the coolest thing ever because they finally relaxed, chillaxed. There was no more arguing. Everybody was in a good mood. They're just, yeah, you know, my uncle was like, do you want one? I was like, oh, I'm good. And it was just nice. It was just nice to see everybody just take it down a notch. So, and also it was just like interesting because I'd never seen my family stoned before, and it was awesome. So anyway, let's see. Let's go back here. Lisa said the authorities don't punish people for personal amounts anymore in the UK. It's all but decriminalized now, really. And Butterfly says, whatever strain my neighbor uses smells terrible. I certainly smelled better. Yeah, some of those strains, they smell just like skunk. Susie doesn't like the smell. Yeah, but it works for some people. Yeah, definitely. And I would say it's not for everybody, and some people just prefer the CBD version, which is great too. And sometimes I'll have the CBD, especially during my moon cycle. I think that it works wonders. Okay, so moving on, let's go into our forecast. I'm pulling some of the questions for this week using my Moonology book. I don't know if you guys have this. This is by Yasmin Boland. And in here, she has some information about the full moon in Taurus / lunar eclipse, and I thought that some of the questions in here would be relevant to this week. So if you guys want to go ahead and grab a deck, go ahead and grab one. Let me know what deck you're using. If you're not using a deck and you're just going to use good old intuition and your channeling abilities, that's fantastic too. Let me know where my channelers are at. Okay, so I'll read a little bit here while you guys go ahead and grab your decks. For me, I am going to be using my Wally's World Oracle, of course. Information is down below in case you're interested in this deck. And my Moon Power Tarot by Charlie Quintero. So those will be the ones that I use for this forecast. Susie says, I'm going to listen to you guys. Okay, okay. But yeah, you guys go ahead and let me know what you're working with. Okay. This full moon is especially good for Taurians, Cancerians, Virgos, Scorpios, Capricorns, and Pisceans, but it's more challenging for everyone else. Well, poo-poo-ba-doo. Hello, Gemini over here. The energy is earthy and steady. I don't know about that. I had some crazy dreams, but Butterfly says, got my Wiser Tarot and Witch's Wisdom Oracle. Excellent. Okay, the message is to re-energize your life during this time. Find balance between all your feelings and what you can practically do about life. Forgive. This is a great time for having a full moon forgiveness ceremony, because after this the moon goes into a waning phase. So this is all about release. What is it that you would like to release, to forgive? Oftentimes when we hold anger and resentment towards someone or something, you know, particular situation maybe, it's us that harbors and holds on to that negative energy. It does no good for the energy of whatever had happened or whatever's in the past. It just creates a cord to that past, keeping us linked to that past. And if you don't want to be linked to that pain anymore or linked to that past, you're going to have to forgive, you know, forgive yourself, forgive maybe what happened at that time. You have more wisdom now than obviously you did then. You're a better person now than maybe obviously you were then. You know, we try to do the best we can with the information that we have, with the tools that we have at the time. And sometimes we make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're human beings. Humans are inherently flawed. So why would we ever expect ourselves to be, you know, like androids or perfect or something? We're not robots. I don't want to be a robot. So anyway, this is a great time for forgiveness. Also gratitude, a good time to create a gratitude list too as well. All the things, even all the little things that we can be thankful for, like hanging out with you lovely people in this live chat on a Sunday. Hey, you know, having my little homestead, you know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful, you know, for James. I'm grateful for, you know, my tight knit group of friends. I'm grateful for my YouTube members and my Patreon peeps. I'm grateful for my tools that are sitting all around me. I'm grateful that I actually have this voice to be able to speak to you guys, and the clothes on my back. You know, there are some people that don't have as much, and I understand that, and I understand that I'm a very abundant person, and I'm grateful for that. So let's see. Let's go back here. Do do do. Princess is going to be using True Black today. Excellent. Lisa is going to channel today. Says my flat is full of sawdust again. I built a beautiful acoustic based har this week. Dude, that is cool. That is so cool. If you have a way to send a picture, I want to see that. That seems so cool. Butterfly said the True Black is so pretty. Yeah, somebody sent me some pictures of that deck. That is a gorgeous deck. Susan said, I have a question. I heard don't charge crystals on an eclipse. Any ideas? You know what? I always say there are no hard and fast rules because, well, maybe there's some hard and fast rules in a 3D world, but I don't think that extends to all the other worlds. So I say always go with what feels right to you. For some people, they absolutely don't want to put crystals out when there is a lunar eclipse or even a solar eclipse. Some people feel that it's great because it'll bring out the shadow aspects of some of those crystals. I say go with whatever you feel is best. For me, I sometimes have put out my crystals, but at a certain point, maybe it's laziness too, but I realized that my physical body and my energy is affected by the goings-ons of the moon and the sun and all of that. No matter if I am high up on a mountain, down in a valley, inside of a house, outside of a house. So if all that energy has the ability to affect me, no matter what my surroundings are, where I am, then my crystals being indoors, then obviously they'd be affected too. But some people like to put them into the light of the moon and everything. But for me, I figure we're all just getting charged. The crystals, everything in this apartment, me, you know, this roof means nothing. Well, actually, there is an upstairs. So I guess technically it would have to go through their roof, my neighbors, and then me. Yeah, and then it hits me. Let's see. Or some people just put them in a windowsill, I suppose. Susie said, good to know, go with my guts. Angela said, can't decide, Tarot Mukta or Archangel Oracle cards. I like the Tarot Mucha. That is I mean, some people say Muka, but it looks like Mucha. So I would go with that deck. That is a beautiful deck. Lisa said, okay, I might even post some of my guitars on my channel. I'll defo try and send you some pictures of them. Yay! So cool. Susie said, to each their own, makes sense. And Angela said, also, I'm of the mind you can charge crystals on cliffs or anywhere crystals are within cliffs sometimes. I've sent small crystals on big mushrooms to charge ones. Whoa! And Butterfly said the eclipse charge would have been as Venus and Mercury is hanging out with the sun, but Uranus just brings weird surprises. Oh, and by the way, Susie has posted Liesel's channel, so you guys definitely go check it out. Okay, are we ready? I got my questions. There are 5 questions here for us. Let me read all 5 of them out first, and then we'll do them one by one, and I'll bust out my decks here. Butterfly said, would have been great. Okay, question number 1. Have I been lazy or overly self-indulgent this month? Remember, we're talking about Taurian energy. Number 2, have I been too obsessed with money or status symbols? So something that we can look into and maybe possibly work on throughout this week. Number 3, have I, or maybe we could change the word have to maybe where have I? Have I been stubborn, jealous, or possessive? Number 4, have I been doing too much comfort eating? And number 5, have I done enough exercise? Just move in your body. You don't need to go and lift weights, but just go out and move. Maybe for a walk or just get a breath of fresh air or sit in the pool if it's warm enough for you. It's not warm enough for me right now, but okay, so let's go ahead and pull some cards then. Maybe I'll use this guy to keep my book open. It's Edward. Okay, so Susie has the question, have I been too lazy this month? Yes. Have I been lazy or overly self-indulgent? Okay, help me out here, Edward. You gotta help a girl out. Okay, you're just gonna do that. All right then. Okay, put you there, and then I'm gonna use another skull to help open there. Perfect. Alrighty then. Okay. Let's see. Susie says, you're welcome, Lisa. I didn't know I am a goofball. Now I do. Okay, so for Wally's World, I'm going to choose a theme card for the week. And then I will use my Moon Power Tarot to pull that question that Susie posted for you guys. So here we go. Theme card. Boom, 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 boom. Alrighty, I guess that's our theme card. Okay, so by the way, these are the backs of my Wally's World cards. Again, if you guys are interested. But let's take a look here. So this card, which has Wally photoshopped in the water down here, I took this picture when I visited China a while back, maybe like 2009-ish, I think. And the reason I took a picture here is because they considered this like a swan wing. So it was translated to like Swan Mountain, like a swan cliff. And it's interesting, you guys were talking about cliffs, but it had this beautiful emerald water, and then you had this swan's wing. So let's take a look at what this could mean for this week. Let's see, Angela says, I'm going to pause my shuffles to say intuitively, as soon as I heard lazy, I heard don't confuse lazy with rest. Baby steps, yes. Okay, and many of us, myself included, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I'm not moving at 100 miles an hour, I must be lazy. Yeah, so we also have to look at what lazy means to us. Okay, so theme for this week. Gentle, deliberate movements this week. Slow down. I feel like there is a lot we could miss this week, a lot of information that we could miss, opportunities that we could miss if we move too quickly this week. So if you feel that you are in a rush to get your to-do list done, or you're in a rush to do this or that, you might miss workarounds, ways of doing things more efficiently, more cheaply, ways that you can take more time for yourself instead of putting all of your energy and using up all of your energetic reserves to complete a particular project. Find ways to do it more simply so that there's more time for you and more time for family. But slow and deliberate. Slow and deliberate is what's coming up for the theme for this week. So yeah, don't let society, friends, even your own ego try to get you to move faster than is comfortable for you this week. Definitely take the time to smell the roses, look around, look for those opportunities, look for those workarounds, and look for the times needed, especially with that Taurian energy, for self-care, taking care of yourself. Sometimes we do need to be a little self-indulgent, especially if you have neglected indulging yourself in much of anything. All right, slow and steady, guys. Slow and steady wins the race, although there's no race here, so. I mean, okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Angela said, channeled, slow down and expand. Oh my gosh. Similar message. Susie said, gentle, deliberate movements is the theme. Angela got Knight of Swords, jumped out of my hand, reversed itself on the table. Interesting. Wow. All right, you guys, slow it down, take it down a notch. Okay, so let me pull from the moon power here, and let's take a look at that first question. Have I been lazy or overly self-indulgent? So, and we also have to define for ourselves, what does that mean, lazy? Is it when we're just recharging ourselves? Because that's not lazy. Or is it when we are purposefully putting something off over and over again? In which case, I think that would be a great time for you guys to pull a card then, or even, myself as well. If there's something that you're avoiding, you know, where you have all the time in the world to get it done, but you're trying not to get it done, then what is it about that energy or that project that you are putting a roadblock up against it? You know, is there something about it that your intuition is saying maybe you shouldn't be doing that, and maybe you feel that you have to do whatever that is? So it's a good time to ask questions like that, you know, especially with the things that we really don't want to do. Like like let's take my old teaching job for example. I didn't mind the students. I loved hanging out with the students. I loved chit-chatting with them. I loved teaching them new things. I love teaching. But I didn't love the structure, the public school structure. I didn't love the curriculum. I didn't love the focus of what they wanted the students to do in school, kind of what they were prepping them for. I was not for. So I had an adversity to going to school. Or adverse reaction. I just like didn't want to go. And so those are things where I probably a long time ago should ask myself, why don't you want to go to school? Why are you so sad when you get up in the morning? Why is it a struggle to get yourself there? So definitely ask your questions at this time, because you might find that you're not being lazy. There's just something that you're not in alignment with, and so you've been putting it off. And so it's time to ask why. But maybe we have been self-indulgent, you know, and maybe that is the case. So we have to ask why about that as well. Why are we being self-indulgent? Why are we overly indulging in this particular thing? What is it that we're trying to fill ourselves with that we feel empty of? What is it that we are trying to avoid? So, all good questions. Let's see, Angela said that means stop mentally beating yourself up for not doing everything. Take a breath. Yep, slow down. Just like the horse, you can't run forever and you'll collapse. And if you don't rest, your body will choose a time of rest that is the least inconvenient, least convenient for you. AKA sometimes you get hurt, you get sick, your body's like, I will find a way to get you to stop. Thank you, Susie. Lisa said, my guides tell me laziness is ego-based, whereas fatigue is more akin to inertia. Very good, very good. Susie said, fatigue, even the vibration feels different. Exactly, exactly. All right, so let's take a look at this. Have I been lazy or overly self-indulgent? And we'll look at this as a collective, the collective whole. And we have the Two of Wands. It's an interesting image. I can dig it. Okay, so Two of Wands. I feel like that many of us have been maybe possibly indulging. It could be in food, it could be retail therapy, it could be indulging in just hanging out with a certain group of people, maybe avoiding another group of people, you know, maybe people in the family, whatever it may be. And it feels like we're in this waiting, like you're waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for something to appear. And in that waiting, it's like the biting of the fingernails. It's like, oh, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. And to feel that anxious feeling, feel that anxiety maybe of not knowing what's going to come, but you know that you're waiting for this thing. We might be filling ourselves with something just to kind of distract us from the anxiety or the maybe trepidation even of this waiting period. So this is a great time to ask ourselves, what is it that we feel that we're waiting for? Where is this anxiousness coming from? Is it coming from a heart-based, part of yourself, or is it coming from an ego-based part of yourself? Remember that the ego doesn't usually make us feel too good, but our higher self always has our best interest at heart. So this is just a good time to feel into and look into the ways that we've been maybe making ourselves or soothing ourselves while we're in this waiting period. And what is it that you're waiting for? It might be, for some people, a more 3D based situation. For some people, maybe they're waiting for a more 4 and 5D based situation to come about. But what is it that you're waiting for? Why does it make you anxious? Or why does it make you bite your nails? Or why does it make us feel that we need to fill our time with stuff just in the meantime? Maybe even a particular type of energy we might be indulging in while we wait. So, interesting. Interesting. Good question. Good question. Good job, Yasmin Boland. Okay. Let's go back here. Angela said, the overall feel I get is no as I shuffle. The image looks like a frog person. Wow. Butterfly said, I feel like if I'm forced to slow down anymore, I'll start growing moss. I've been so restless, but circumstances aren't right for action. Oh, so maybe that's that waiting period, like waiting for action. So feeling definitely restless. Wow. Mimi Lulu, hey! It says divine feminine introspection. I observe myself with keen inner awareness. I create a safe, sacred space for my own introspection. Nice. Very nice. All right. Okay. For our second question, have I been too obsessed with money or status symbols? So have I been too obsessed with money or status symbols? I guess we can also translate this into, have I been too obsessed in the 3D material world? And then, again, this is a great jumping off place to look into why. Why and what does it actually represent? Is it filling a need that we feel isn't there? Is it filling what we feel is a hole? And we want to fill it with those 3D items. And so it's a great place to find out where we need some healing. So all good stuff. Okay, so have I been too obsessed with money or status symbols? And we also have to think, what does money represent to us? What do those status symbols represent? For many people, money is a means to something, right? You want this thing, and we feel that money is the energetic exchange needed to get that thing. So it's not that we really want the money, we really want the thing, right? We want maybe it could be security, maybe family, maybe transportation. You want the thing, you don't really want money. So we maybe can start focusing our attention, how can we get the thing instead of how we can get more money? So anyway, have we been too obsessed with money or status symbols? Let's see. Angela got the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords reversed, Ace of Cups reversed, and the Death reversed. Ooh, more 5s come in with Butterfly Love Child, 5 of Coins, a hard yes. And Susie said, have I been too obsessed in the 3D material world? That is basically the question. Yes. All right. So thank you, Susie, for posting that. And you guys definitely look at Susie's post. She's got the questions in all caps for you guys. All right. Have we been too obsessed with money or status symbols, aka the 3D material world? And then we have to start asking ourselves why and what does it represent? I got the Sun Major Arcana card. Angela said, stop going to war with yourself. Seems like you've been worried and obsessed about it. So yeah, it seems like if we've been obsessed as a collective with our progress, when things don't pan out. And Lisa said, the channel message is, money is a currency or a current like water. By nature, it is fluid. It ebbs and flows. You can't hold on to it in the grip of your hand. Wow. And Angela said the 5 of Wands on our souls, but 8 of Swords reverse says we're making better progress than we know. 5 is halfway to a wish. Yes. And then Susie says, yes, currency. Yeah. See, I like Susie's cheeky stuff there. Okay, so let's go into this one. It feels like as a collective, there is a collective programming, and it's not an accident. There's a collective programming that states, in order to be happy in this world, you have to have certain things. And in order to get those certain things, the only way to get it in this 3D world is through a currency. And that is a very 3D ego-based way of thinking, because much of the 3D world is ego-based. And so that it is programming that has been placed within us. It is very hard programming to break, but it's something that is not impossible. We can continue to work at it because we realize that we are not just 3D beings. We are a multidimensional being that is inhabiting a 3D body and just happens to be having a 3D experience at the moment. But we have a connection to so many of the other realms because we are a part of those other realms. And the 3D realm is a reflection of you. It is using your energy and using the collective energy. And so we have to take a look at this from a different angle. And with this sun card, it's reminding me of the lunar eclipse that we're going to have. Not the solar eclipse that we have, but the lunar eclipse. That this is a time for looking at things from a different angle, from the dark side of the moon, from a shadowy aspect. And how we can try to reprogram ourselves to see a different form of energetic exchange that maybe isn't just the 3D version of it, which in our case would be money. To look at those things they tell us that we must have in order to be happy, what would actually make us happy? And maybe it isn't those physical items, because we can't take those physical items with us. I mean, the ancient Egyptians believed that maybe we would need those physical items in our afterlife, but they were just representations. And so those are things that we need to take a look at. And maybe possibly this causes a lot of strife on our planet because it's not actually in alignment with us as a multidimensional being. So of course there's going to be a lot of people who are unhappy if they feel like they don't have the things they were told to have. Of course there's going to be a lot of people who are unhappy on the planet if they feel that they don't have this specific physical currency that they tell us we must have in order to obtain those things. That is the only way you can obtain those things. You're literally telling an infinite divine being that they can't have something, or they can't be happy until they have this very dense third dimensional item or thing. It seems very silly when we look at it from that perspective. So yes, this is definitely a time for us to take a look at our true power on this third dimensional plane. Whew. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Let's see what you guys got here. Okay, Angela says, and we will eventually get what we want in due time, but now it says death and the reversed ace. Right now, death is holding the cup. He needs a drink and a break too. Lisa said 333 just came to my smart meter. Speaking of 3. And Susie said, I just channeled hashtag burning sage. Yes. Mimi got the sun too. Got the sun in the oracle. Sun, paint the sun back in your sky. Believe in your own magic. Yes. Susie, I would love to see you guys all in person. That would be amazing. Angela said, if we do, the light and energy would be so bright. We'd light up the world. Dude, we'd light up the galaxy. If everybody knew just how beautiful and powerful you guys all are, and that we are one, we literally are each other, we would light up the galaxy. Seriously. All right. Question number 3. Have I been stubborn, jealous, or possessive? Also a good jumping off point. If we have been, then why? What aspect of ourselves makes us feel inadequate, or that we feel that we're missing something? In which case, time for reflection. Let's heal some things, all right? So here we go. Have I been stubborn, jealous, or possessive? Okay. Have we been like this as a whole? got the Page of Pentacles. Susie said, beautiful. Angela said, in terms of myself, I know stubborn can be my default setting. I'm a pinchy crab as a zodiac sign. Lisa says, I'm feeling the love here. That's cool. Number 3, or Butterfly got judgment for number 3. And Susie's posted the question in case you guys missed it. Have I been stubborn, jealous, or possessive? And why? Let's heal. Heck yeah. All right. So this Page of Pentacles here, let's dive into it. Let's do this. All right. I feel that when we think of possessiveness, stubbornness, jealousy, these are reactions of the ego, because the ego does feel powerless. It's been told that this is the only world there is. It's only 3D. These are the only rules of that world. These are the only physics that exist in the world. This is the only way to get from point A to point B, that everything is in a linear fashion, you know, in a linear line, a linear way of thinking. There's only linear time. So it's a very restrictive environment. Of course, the ego is going to feel restricted over and over again. That restriction is going to create some pretty negative emotions. Anxiety, fear, tense, obsessed. We might become obsessed because the ego doesn't know what else to do, so it might hyper focus on something. It might become absolutely stubborn because it can't see the future. It doesn't have an intuition. It doesn't have a gut instinct. But you know what? Who does? We do. and that ego programming is also in us. So although, like I said, it may be difficult, it gets easier with time when we can continue to push our ego aside and say, you know what? You can't understand why I'm making this choice, but my intuition understands why I'm making this choice. And so the stubbornness is when the ego says, no, I'm not accepting any new information. No, that can't possibly be, because in the past this happened, so therefore it somehow dictates the present and the future. You know, that whatever happened in the past is law, it is gospel, and nothing can ever change. And so that's why it holds on to things with that possessive intensity. It becomes obsessed. It becomes stubborn. And no, I don't want to change, because it's fearful of change, because it doesn't know what would happen, and there's no intuition with it. But it's a good thing that we have a soul. It's a good thing we do have an intuition. So I do feel, as a collective, yes, at times, myself especially included, as I am absolutely stubborn, we do have these feelings of possessiveness, obsessiveness, stubbornness, but just realize that it's just a reaction of our ego self, which, you know, this is all stuff that we're learning from. So much to gain and so much to learn from this when we truly understand where our ego is coming from, why it's reacting in a particular way, and why, you know, we should also really listen to our highest self, listen to our intuition, listen to our heart, because we can see clearly what happens when we allow the ego to lead us and what happens when we allow our higher self to lead us. It's all learning experience. So although many of us have experienced this at one time or another, and possibly even now when sometimes things feel difficult for people, the ego really tries to hold on to its power, whatever power it thinks it has. These feelings come up, but they're things that we can learn from. They're things that we can look into, and things we may want to ask ourselves. Okay, the ego is feeling stubborn at the moment. It doesn't want to change. It's fearful of something. What's it fearful of? It's fearful of something that's different. Why does that make it fearful? Let's go back into my own programming. Let's go back into my own trauma. Let's go back into my own core beliefs where I'm absolutely scared of change. Maybe because of, some negative experiences with change or with moving or something that happened when I was a kid. That's all stuff that can be worked on. That's all stuff that can be healed. We can go back to it, because remember that even though in 3D there is linear time, outside of 3D there is no time. Time is all happening at once. So when you're healing the past, you're really healing the present, and you're healing your future all at the same time. You can access your youngest self, which is happening right now, at any time. And you can heal those things. Because you're a multidimensional being, that's why we can do these things. But that's something that's very difficult to near impossible to do through the ego. All right. Woo. Okay. I can dig it. Let's see what you guys got. Susie said, refreshing, be right back. Okay, so doing stuff with the computer. Angela said, I got the Knave of Page of Wands, the 10 of Wands, and 7 of Pentacles reversed. Our stubbornness as a collective ties into the last question. Thank you, Susie. She's asking people to maybe smash that like button. Butterfly said, wow, my expanded cards matched up with that channeling to a T. Angela said, we not only feel like we need to do everything, we feel like we can without any help in the 3D world, the mental world. The fact is, even the divines have helpers, even angels have other angels. The divine itself can ask for help and spirits and splits the work. There's multiple pantheons the others believe in with multiple divines in them. They split the work. Why can't we? If we don't, we'll collapse and we won't feel well. Exactly. And we remember that we're not the only person in this multiverse. That we're all connected. We're all one. So let's share in that energy. You guys are as much of me as I am of you. We're technically, all of us are all brothers and sisters. We're all family. We're all connected. We are of that same divine, awesome, light stuff, that source stuff. So let's share in this, what we're doing, whether you're doing energetically, verbally, whatever it may be. And remember, you don't have to do everything alone, because you're absolutely never alone. Yes, Susie, we are brothers and sisters. All right. Okay, so our fourth question, which is our second to last question, haven't been doing too much comfort eating. So this is where we are taking something tangible like food, and we might be comforting ourselves for a particular reason. So this is not to condemn certain foods. That's not what this is about. This is not condemning sweets or breads or anything like that, but just figuring out why we take something physical like food and why we may comfort ourselves with it when we're feeling attacked. We might be feeling threatened. We might be feeling anxious about something. And that's when we need to go into the core. This is not a time to reprimand yourself and say, oh, I'm such a bad person, I've eaten too much. No, that's a symptom of something. And so you don't yell at somebody because they're showing a symptom. We decide, hey, I'm going to go in and find out what that's a symptom of. What am I trying to cover up? What am I trying to put a Band-Aid on? What am I trying to heal? And then that's where we really get to some love. We really get to some, healing goodness when we look past the symptom. So if you've been feeling that you've been overindulging lately in the form of food, people overindulge in many different forms, but for some people it's food, then why? And again, it's not to say that, oh, the food was bad. No. What's that a symptom of? Okay, so let's take a look at that. Have we been doing too much comfort eating? Aha. All right. We have our food. We have our food. We have the Emperor. And you know what? I think the Emperor, well, that person eats pretty darn well because they're the Emperor. So let's take a look into this. Let's see what you guys have here. Angela said, soul siblings. Lisa said, one love, one tribe, one vibe. Blessed be. Heck yeah. Michelle said, yep, that's a message I resonate with a lot. Angela said, oh, cookies, how I've eaten a few too many of you lately. And Susie posted the question in case you guys missed it. Susie says, I have been overindulging because of menopause. Well, see, there's always a reason. There's always a reason. Okay, and to judge anybody's character because of a symptom of something, I think is the most ridiculous thing ever. Okay, so let's take a look into the Emperor, what that means for maybe overindulging when it comes to food. Have we been doing this? Why have we been doing this? As a collective, I'm feeling self-esteem. And of course, that's something that I also resonate with as well. Having a low self-esteem in some respects. And this could be due to just programming as a whole on the 3D realm. We've been told that this entire world is outside of ourselves. We have no power over this world. The world happens to you. You do nothing to the world. Everything happens to you. You can't just make money rain down from the sky, which is the only way to get what you want. We've been told that there are people that we should give our power to. There are things that we should give our power to, because you can't possibly be responsible enough to have your own power, to have your own mind. And so this has created a collective of human beings, for the most part, not for all, but for the most part, with a low self-esteem. We've been made to feel that we are powerless. There are some things that are absolutely, quote unquote, impossible. You can't do this in this world. And so when you tell a multidimensional being, one that has power beyond measure, that we are all so divine, we're all so powerful, yet we're kept in this mental cage of sorts, and we're told, you can't. It's impossible. You are weak, they are strong. You can't without them. It's the same prison that some say elephants in captivity. To keep a baby elephant in a chain bigger than is needed for a baby elephant. It gets used to that chain. It learns that it could never break free, no matter what it does. It makes itself feel like it is small, that it's not strong, that it's weak, that the little people running around it are more strong than it. So that when it gets bigger and it turns into a giant elephant that could definitely destroy anything in its path, it has been conditioned to believe that it is less than, and so it never tries. And that's the point of the 3D matrix, to keep people within the box. And so how does this tie into overindulging in a food? Well, again, this is tying into the low self-esteem. There's something missing. I want to fill it with a sustenance. What does food represent? Food represents life. It represents not dying. It represents feeding a hunger. You're hungry for something, but we're confusing it with food. Food is not what you're actually hungry for. You're hungry to get out and become who you truly are. You are a very powerful being. We all are. Yet just like the elephant, you've been conditioned to believe that you're not. And so in this suffering phase, the only way we feel that we can fill that void is through something that symbolizes life, power, energy, something we feel we don't have. But knowing this, we can go back and we can heal that. We can reclaim our power. We can deprogram that part of us. All right. Whew. Okay. Let's go back here. Angela said, I got the 9 of Cups with 9 wine glasses and a full feast table. Whoa. Butterfly got the 3 of Pentacles, Page of Cups. High Priestess, I seek too many opinions, validation when I feel insecure, but should probably trust my intuition instead. Angela said, the Knave of Swords reversed. She has no food, the Strength card when the angel rests upon the lion. And again, 7 of Pentacles reversed. And Susie said, Taurus is how we value ourselves. Yes. Angela said, okay, we could be comfort eating, but I'm going to ask if for some, if the opposite is true. Maybe you're indulging in a drink or depriving yourself because you worry you're eating too much or worried about other things in your life. Are you trying to coast on the bare minimum or trying to compensate for food where you're lacking? Rest sure you could do that for a bit, but you can't do that forever. Again, you'll crash out and collapse. What is stressing you this deeply at the root of this or draining you or causing this? Meditate and breathe. You can take care. Everybody, you're loved, you're important, you matter. You're more than enough, even if others don't see it. And Mimi said, wisdom of the shadow card, dependency, slightly called out here. That which we tie ourselves to becomes interwoven into our sense of wholeness and worthiness. Alexandra, hey, says I came in a little late, but good morning to you. Awesome, good to see you here. Okay, all right, you guys, coming in for the final question. These have been some fabulous answers, you guys. I love the messages that you guys are pulling through. This is excellent. Last question, have I done enough exercise? So again, moving our physical body, our little human bodies, have we been moving it, at least, getting up, maybe going for a walk, or maybe some of you guys like to go for a jog. Some of you guys are a little bit more extreme. You like to go rock climbing, things like that. Some of you guys like to dance, maybe a little dance party. But have you been moving your bodies? Have we been exercising? And remember that doing that is a form of, I would say, expression as well. When we move, we express ourselves, especially like through dance and things like that. So if we have been lacking in caring for our body, and let's say in the form of exercise, I mean, everybody's got varying abilities. I know you guys all, you have varying ways in which you are capable. But if that is something we've been avoiding, then again, that's a symptom. Why are we avoiding movement? Just moving the body. I'm not saying you guys need to go work out for an hour at the gym, but just movement. Why have we been avoiding movement? That's a symptom of something. Again, it's a chance for us to heal, to look back into and ask why. Why have I been avoiding moving my body? What does moving my body represent to me? Again, it might mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So this is why it's great to ask these questions and pull these cards and see what we get. Okay. All right. So Susie's posted the question just in case you guys missed it. And Lisa's saying that she resonates with Angela's channeling. Butterfly says, I got the Fool. Walking the dog counts, I think. Of course it does. Oh, Lisa said it is 18:18 on the clock. Hey. Susan said, walking the dog is fantastic. I agree. Okay. Have we gotten enough exercise? I do think that when we're working on the property, James and I are getting an adequate amount of exercise. Like, we haven't put wheels on our ginormous generator yet. We've been having to haul that thing that I think is like over 100 and some pounds, where each of us carrying, the side of it, carrying it over to the water pressure pump, carrying it back to the RV, back to the water pressure pump. Yeah, I think we're getting a little strong out there. Plus, it's the rocky hills, and dude, we're gonna be billy goats. You'll just see. By the time hashtag burning sage comes around, we're gonna be like strong ass mountain folk. Okay. Let's see. Angel said, I got an interesting 3. I got 2 of Wands, 4 of Cups reversed, and Death upright. Interesting. Okay. So okay, that's too many cards. Come on, Moon Power. I can't read the whole deck. Okay, that's better. All right, this one. It's 5 of Pentacles. It's a little harder to sometimes figure out what the suits are in this deck, but yes, this is the 5 of Pentacles. And I know that there was 5s coming up earlier, so that's interesting. Okay, have we done enough exercise? Whoa, okay, it's actually tying into the question before that. So remember when I was talking about this world is made in such a way that we are told, we are made to believe, we're programmed, and sometimes by our parents, which, you know, I doubt they program things maliciously. It's just their programming leads them to program their children in a particular way, and it continues on, so on and so forth, plus with societal programming as well. We're programmed to believe that we are not as powerful as we truly are, that there are people around us that are more powerful, they're smarter, they're better, we should listen to them. We've been told that we have no effect on the world around us. And so therefore, some of us take food, just food as an example. Some people use other things, but just food for its symbol for life, power, vitality. Sometimes we take that because we feel that we're lacking in our own personal power, you know, thus it's stemming from low self-esteem, which we can work on and which we can heal. So when it comes to exercise, think about what exercise means. I know that might have a varying definition for people, but oftentimes we're presented images of people who are quote unquote healthy. Healthy has according to society, a particular look, a particular body type when it comes to male and female. That if somebody has lots of muscles, then obviously they're stronger than you, they're better than you, they have more power than you. And for some people, they will use exercise, they will try to go to the gym and get all those muscles because they feel they don't have any power on the inside. I'm not saying this is for all people that work out, but some people will overly work out because they feel inadequate in some way. They feel powerless in some way. They've been told that they were powerless. And so the only way they can think of in a 3D sense is to create a 3D facade that's full of muscles, that looks strong, looks healthy. I am vital. I am that. So instead of them overindulging in food, they overindulge in exercise. And for some people, they avoid exercise at all costs. They tell themselves all these things. Oh, I just don't have time. Oh, that's not for me. But what is the real reason? You know, both extremes are maybe something that we need to look into. So the people that are using exercise as an excuse to fulfill power, and the people that are saying, I can't exercise at all for one reason or another. And I know some people don't have the use of their legs, but they still move their arms. They still, you know, find a way to move. So what is it that we're actually avoiding? And maybe it's because we don't feel powerful enough, so why even bother? Why even bother to move this body if I feel like I have no power? So again, it's just a chance for us to go inwards, to heal that part of us, which is actually a non-truth. It's not true. You are powerful. We're more powerful than even we can fathom, you know? We just need to start working on healing that aspect of ourselves and really trying to look at what does moving our body actually mean to us? What does exercise actually mean to us? We might see that actually stems to a feeling of powerlessness, which is actually just not true. You have all the power in the world. And so this is not a call to say that, hey, all you guys need to start going to the gym, but to reclaim that power within you. And when you feel powerful, it shows. You want to get out there and move. You want to, almost in a 3D sense, exude that power. Like, look, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling vital. I feel good within myself. My self-esteem is on point. You know, I know how powerful I am, and it shows. And you want to move, and you want to, you want to get out there, meet the people, you know. And so I think that's what it means. All right. Okay. All right. I can dig it. All right. Let's go back here. Angela said, hey, he brought a full ace cup with him when I pulled the clarifier. Lisa says, I'm off to the mountains for Yule and Christmas. Can't wait visiting my tribe in North Wales. Hey! That is so cool. Well, I wish you a safe trip. I hope you have lots of fun. Angela said, so take what resonates, even if you're the only one doing a little. If your body doesn't listen and you can't do as much exercise as others, and make slip-ups, don't be mad at yourself. And Susie also wishing Liesl a wonderful trip. Angela says, you're going to eventually find healing. It may take a bit longer. Start with a single small change, like more water. That will start a chain reaction for you. And Susie's saying that this year has flown by. It seems, yeah, dude. I thought we just started this year, and now we're already near the end of the year. It has flown by. Okay, so Susie says her Wi-Fi is acting up. Hopefully you guys are okay there. Angela said, perhaps also rather than pushing your body to its limits or pushing yourself to do more, indulge yourself with some healing. Make yourself better. Heal yourself. The physical world will follow. Yes, as within, so without. Mimi says, I'm an avoider for sure. Got to work on why I overeat and avoid exercise. Yeah, and again, it's nothing to reprimand yourself or punish yourself for. It's just your body showing a symptom. It's a symptom of something. So it's just a wonderful chance to go in and look at why. Why would I avoid exercise? First of all, what does that mean? What does that represent for me? And when it comes to food, what does that mean? What does that represent? What do I feel I'm lacking? And it may just be a non-truth, something that was programmed into you to say that you are lacking in this, and maybe you're actually not, but you're told you were. So it's a belief system. So it's just kind of looking into that belief system, and then just healing from within. You know, just like Angela said, you know, heal here, heal on the inside, and then you find your outside is just doing a lot better. And then we won't show those symptoms anymore. Butterfly said, I had to really confront the fact that I'm just not physically, mentally, or financially in a place where I can be as active as I used to be. Well, you know, and we have to look at that too. Like does being active have to look a particular way? Do we have to look a particular way? And maybe, you know, as circumstances change, we move differently. How we interact with the world, with our body, is different. You know, I don't exercise like I used to. The way I do things is different. You know, my exercise is actually up at the property now. Instead of being in a gym, standing in front of the mirror, lifting my weights, I'm doing something different now. I'm like literally lifting stuff on the property, and I'm happy. I'm happy doing all those things. I'm happy, you know, putting my body to work. And you know, and I guess I don't have glamour muscles anymore, but I guess I didn't need them because they weren't really useful for anything. Like, and so let's see. Everybody's sending lots of love around. Butterfly said, I still hesitate to acknowledge disability with regards to myself, but the plain truth is that I'm working with fewer spoons. But you still got some spoons. And so it's just figuring out something that feels right to you while you work on your healing journey. So I would say most of our focus has to be within, before we could try healing things in the physical sense, or maybe work on them in tandem, you know. Let's see. Angela said, Eight of Cups came out. She's using a walking stick and taking a slow, relaxed walk in the meadow with the cups beside where she must have been sitting. It doesn't have to be strenuous. Maybe a walk, meditate, make a habit out of that. And Susie sending butterfly love child, lots of love. Angela said, for the record, you all are absolutely beautiful just as you are, inside and out. I haven't even met you guys, and I can just feel that. Yes. Yeah, and by the way, I'm like, you know how the way I just see things is we're inhabiting a suit. Like we're in a human suit. Like this is this is not the real us, you know. So judging people or judging ourselves based on how the suit looks, I think we should be working and focusing more on our multidimensional selves. The fact that the part that connects us all, you know, the whole, you know, source energy, that is us. And so that's the part that we connect with and that we come together on, and the part that we want to grow and that we want to make healthy, right? And the little suits that we're wearing, yeah, they'll follow. But to put so much emphasis on a suit, it's like if I started wearing a purple suit and people were judging me because I wear the color purple, or because if it's made of a certain fabric, or because it's a little wrinkled or something. Just seems silly, you know. So we all have different suits. Our suits look different, our suits operate differently, but what's inside of you, now that's the stuff. That's the stuff we're really looking for. Angela said, all the love to everyone. Hugs to infinity and back. Yes, to infinity and beyond and back. Okay, you guys, let's look into, excuse me, little skulls. Thank you so much for helping to hold my book open. Okay, put that there. I was using my Captain Picard as a bookmark. Alrighty. So we're going into the elemental reading. All right, so this is just a quick little reading for all of our fire signs out there, all of our water signs, our air signs, and in full Taurus fashion, all of our earth signs. So yes, little Capricorns, little Virgos. So let's pull a card for each of those elements, just so that you can get a little bit more in the reading. Let's see. Susie said, that is beautiful altar cloth, by the way. Thank you. It's the last one I have here in the apartment. All my other altar cloths are up north. Angela said, whoa, go 3 cards jumping as I pick the deck up to move it. So I'll do one for each. Okay, excellent. Okay, by the way, let's start off with our fire signs. So Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Let's see a little message for you guys specifically. By the way, where are my fire babies at? You guys to be spitting fire, throwing fire. I got my Leo in the North Node. Hey! Let's see here. Oh, and the deck, if you're wondering what I am using the I Don't Care Oracle, created by my bestie out in Belgium, Steph. And she's come out with another deck as well. It's the I Don't Care Oracle 2. So if you just type that into the internet, I Don't Care Oracle or I Don't Care Oracle 2, her stuff will pop up just in case you're interested. So just thought I'd throw that out there. My sister from another mister. All right. Fire signs, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Butterfly says, I found my dog's puppy tooth. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. I would definitely keep that. Well, I guess my ex has Wally's baby tooth. We found it in the carpet. It's like, it's the cutest little thing. Michelle said, did you get the Insight Editions Star Trek Tarot deck? You know what? I had the Star Trek Tarot on my wish list, but then I started seeing the cards for it and everything, and I just wasn't connecting with the deck. I felt like they could have done so much more with Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like it could have been presented a little bit different. So although I think the art is beautiful, it's just not, I just don't vibe with it, which is so sad because I love Star Trek TNG like so much. um, and Lisa said, puppy. But yeah, so maybe I shall await another Star Trek tarot to come out. Maybe I will. I'll wait. I'll wait. Or maybe I should just make my own. Oh no, I don't have the rights. Well, anyway. Okay, fire signs. Sorry, not sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. All right. So, okay, let's go into this fire signs. This sounds like a fire sign. Don't let yourself be silenced this week, or actually anytime, but especially this week. It feels like more and more, I'm just speaking in generalization, the more and more, if someone has an opinion that isn't quote unquote the popular opinion, or is an opinion that triggers somebody in whatever way, then the recourse is to silence that person. Like, I don't want to hear opposition. I don't want to hear different ideas. I don't want to hear that anybody who thinks differently than I do. And that seems so sad. You know, that's why we're here on this planet, to have people that have differing opinions, different points of view, different belief systems. And if we look at it from a more 4 and 5D perspective, all those people are you. So really, when somebody wants to silence somebody else, they're trying to silence themselves. Because that person is you, and you are that person. So this sorry, not sorry, there's a way that you can express your opinion. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to berate people, but you shouldn't feel that you can't express an opinion for fear that people will want to cancel you, or they'll want to shut you down. Don't let that fear come into play. Speak your mind. Somebody needs to hear what you have to say. There's somebody out there that resonates with you. There's somebody where whatever it is that you said triggered them in such a way that they went inwards and they re-looked at their whole belief system. Maybe they found some healing from what you said. And maybe you won't see this, you know, maybe you won't see the healing that takes place, but that shouldn't keep you from expressing yourself. And you can do it in a loving way. But loving doesn't mean silencing yourself. Please don't silence yourself. If you have ideas, if you have opinions, share them. Let's come together instead of fighting one another. So fire signs, don't silence yourself this week or ever, really. So there may be some people that get upset. There may be some people that don't agree with you, but it doesn't mean that you have to keep your opinion to yourself, because they are entitled as much to an opinion as you are. All right, so fire signs. Let's see. Michelle said, definitely the criticism with lots of their decks. Yeah. Susu said, what is the name of Steph's Etsy shop? I think it's under Wasima, and I think Wasima has Core Magic, Coremag. It's either ICK or IK is the way she spells Core Magic. But I think that's the one you'll find on Etsy. Angela said, I got Queen of Swords reversed. Are you being mouthy or mousy about an issue? Is someone in authority triggering you to close your mouth? Sometimes the best thing can be to keep your thoughts to yourself for a time and bide your time until the right time. There's a time and place to state your thoughts and feelings, but never ignore them. They're ordinary people, or everyone has emotions, thoughts, feelings, but don't bleed on those who didn't cut you over an issue. Yeah, okay, so Susie got it. So coremagic.com is Steph's link. or coremagic@gmail.com. There you go. And Sarah's here. Hello, hello. So if you want a one card reading, which I do some one card readings at the end of today's chat, which actually that brings up a good thing. So for super chats and super stickers, I do one card pulls for all my super chats and super stickers, and I'll do that at the end of today's chat. So if you're interested, just go ahead and drop a super chat or super sticker and your question, and I would be more than happy. Let's see. Kayla, hey, how are you? And then Angela welcoming everybody in. What's up? Okay, let's get into our, you know what? Since we're going into an earth sign, Taurus, for the full moon, let's go ahead and pull a card for our earth sign. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, I'm looking at you, baby. All right, let's look at our little earthy friends out there. Also, let me know if you are of such earthiness. I have no earth in my chart. I am air and fire. Okay. Ooh, guilt-free. Isn't that funny? Dude, we had a question about indulgence, and well, Taurus is a sign that can be quite indulgent, and here we have some very indulgent foods here. So let's see what this means for our earth signs. Angela got the 6 of Cups, and Susie is air and earth. Okay. Okay, so definitely for the earth signs, especially because we have this very earthy full moon eclipse coming up for us. If there's, this reading was for our earth signs especially. Indulgence. When it comes to indulging, doesn't necessarily mean this kind of indulgence, but look into the things that you're indulging in. It doesn't mean to start feeling guilty about it and, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I'm a bad person. Because what does that solve? What does that do except to make you feel worse about yourself? It does nothing. Instead, it's like, you know what? I've been indulging a lot in chocolate lately, which that's me. Why is that? What does chocolate represent? Well, it's sweet. I don't get to have it very often. Okay, so what does that mean? What is it feeling? Where do I need a little bit of healing? So Taurus, this is and of course all our other earth signs, so Virgo and Capricorn. If you feel that you've been overindulging in a particular area, maybe overindulging in Netflix, overindulging in food, overindulging in retail therapy, overindulging in not wanting to get out of bed, then why is that? Instead of berating yourself, which does nothing, and it only harms your own self-esteem, or calling yourself names, or deciding that you're a bad person, or I need to stop that, I'm so bad, that does nothing for you. There is no healing in that. Instead say, okay, I've been doing that, I acknowledge it, let's find out why I'm doing that. And that is way more proactive. It puts the power back in your hands, because to berate yourself, call yourself names, and say I'm a bad person, that only takes your power away. It only makes you feel this small. We don't want you to feel that small, because you're not that small. You're powerful. So that's why putting the power back in your hands is saying, okay, I acknowledge that I see this is going on. Let's look at where that's actually stemming from. I have the power to heal it, to work on it, and that's that. There's no name calling. There's none of this. So one is more ego-based, one is more heart-based. We want to go the heart-based route. We want to work on the healing. We want to see where all this is stemming from. So no guilt, my earth signs. Please do not feel guilty. Instead, take it as an opportunity of just recognition. I recognize what I've been doing. I'm gonna go work on it. That's as simple as that. So no guilt, okay? All right, so let's see. Let's go back here. Angela said, okay, so the card she got shows an older sibling chatting with the older ones as he prepares to go somewhere. Perhaps you have someone you're avoiding who's wanted to spend time with you. And Susie's gonna have an ice cream tonight. Hey, sounds good to me. Angela says, if you're avoiding this, try and figure out why. Is it your energy? Is it theirs? Is it something in the past? Rather than running, perhaps sit down and talk with yourself. Decide if it needs to end or be rekindled. We all have our own journey. Not everyone can follow, but not everyone needs to be left behind either. All right. And Susie's got Cappy Moon, North Node is Cappy, Jupiter and Cappy. Oh my goodness. Susie, you are the greatest of all time. Oh my gosh. Bring out the goat. Okay, so let's go into our water signs. And I know I heard that there was some pinchy crabs in here, so there was some Cancerians, maybe a few Pisceans, Scorpios. I'm a Scorpio rising, so okay. Where are my Scorpios at? Okay, so water signs. What do you guys got? What do you guys got? Okay. We have no. Yep, that's me. Okay, so no, talk to the hand. Let's see what this means for our water friends, our little watery friends. Interesting. Okay, boundaries came up, but not just boundaries with the outside world and others, but boundaries with your ego. Whoa. So, I guess that's kind of what I guess to jump off of what I was talking about with our earthy friends, and not feeling the guilt about having indulgences in particular things, but just figuring out why. Acknowledging that you're indulging and figuring out why and where it's stemming from. And so for our watery friends, when the ego wants to come in, and we are very aware of our egos, right? It's that constant voice that sounds probably a lot different than our higher self when it's speaking to us. But that constant voice that wants to keep you small, wants to keep you in the past, wants to keep you angry, with something from before, wants to, whatever it wants to keep you in, because it's what it knows, and anything outside of what it knows, it's deathly afraid of. So that's why it wants to keep you in this kind of little bubble, because it's much easier to say my personality is like this, I'm just that person, I've always done things this way, which is a phrase that seems to have come up a few times this morning of with humans. Oh, well, I've always done something this way, but we never ask why. Why do you do things that way? Like, how does it benefit you? So we have to ask that of ourselves, we have to ask that of our ego too. And so when the ego is overstepping its boundary with you, when it's starting to make you feel like crap, when it's filling you with fear, when it's filling you with anxiety, when it fills you with all the things that don't make you feel good, you have to say no. You have to say stop. What are you doing? You are not helping me at this time. Keeping me this small does not help me grow. It doesn't help me heal. So ego, you're gonna have to go take a time out because you can tell your ego it's being annoying, it's being overbearing, it needs to go sit over there. This is not heart-based. I want heart-based. I want healing. So this is putting a boundary on that ego. Easier said than done, but doesn't mean we can't work on it. All right, boundary on the ego. All right, so let's go back here. Whoa. I just saw emojis galore and I love it. Okay, so Liesl is Cancer, Moon, and Rising. Alexandra said all water for all my big three. That's so cool. Susie said very psychic you guys are, or intuitive, whatever word you like. Susie said I have Mars and Venus in Cancer, but it doesn't work for me in my South Node. Silver Star, hey! Oh my gosh, look at all those emojis. I love it. How are you? Lisa said, yes, that constant voice. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, I know, right? Angela said, perhaps water signs needs to embrace the mother energy or the divine mother energy. Did you have a toxic parent, or are you at odds with divinity? Do you have problems connecting with something triggering? Exactly. Alexandra, thank you. And you know what? I'd be more than happy to pull you a card at the end of the chat. So at the end, let me know if you have a question or you just want a general read. I'd be more than happy to pull a card. Thank you. Thank you. So Angela is saying it could have come from your childhood. The figure on the card holds a man and a woman, but doesn't let them touch the fire. She's protecting them, perhaps. It's a chance to let new energy in the divine feminine that you've avoided and wants to protect you. If you won't let it in, ask why. All right, so Silver Star is at work and she is doing good though. All right, well, take it easy. Our theme for this week was one step at a time, deliberate steps. So just no rush, no rush. All right. Okay. Lastly, let's pull a card for all the air signs. So I am a Gemini sun and I am a Libra moon, so I got double air there, but also have a lot of air just in the chart in general. So yes, Aquarius, Libra, Geminis, this is for you. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. I believe Aquarius is my south node. Yeah, because Leo is my north node, and I believe Aquarius is my south node. Aquarius. Okay. Hey. All right. Susie said, Air, Stellium, Gemini, Sun, Saturn, Mercury, and my midheaven. Stellium. And Angela got Tower reversed. Whoa. Heather said, that's funny. I wrote that on a index card today. One step at a time. Well, dude, that is the message then. That is the message. Okay, so this is for the air signs. Say it louder. Look at all these people here. Oh, Heather's also an Aquarius South node. Okay, so say it louder, my air signs. Which Gemini, you guys are, well, we're supposed to be the kings and queens of communication. All right, so let's dive into this. What does this mean for our air signs? Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Be more direct. Is the universe calling me out? That's something that James has a critique about me, is that I am not very clear sometimes when I speak. And sometimes when I want something or I want to convey or I have an idea, I convey it instead of saying it. I throw out innuendos instead of actually saying what I think and feel. So maybe that's something that's not just me, but maybe it is. But maybe for some of you guys out there, some of you air signs out there, to be more direct in speaking. For some of us, we've spoken in a particular way for so long, we assume that what we're saying is clear to other people, and oftentimes it is not. For some of my friends and for most of my family, we all communicate in a particular way, so I'm used to it. And that stems back to well, that's the way things have always been, and I always communicate that way. But just because that communication works for my family and for some of my friends doesn't mean that that form of communication is very clear to, let's say, my significant other or people on the street or, anybody else outside of my family and my little friendship circle. So we have to take a look at our communication methods. Can they be a bit more clear? Since I happen to have a more passive way of expressing my feelings and emotions, I just know that about me. I can be a very passive person. Some things I have a lot more, forthright with, but I can be very passive in my speaking and in my writing. So in what way could I make it more direct instead of passive? So instead of saying, hey, you know what, going to, I don't know, let's see, make up an idea. Like if somebody said, hey, what do we want to do today? And let's say if I was in San Diego, I'd say, well, I don't know, the beach sounds really cool. I mean, do you want to go swimming? Do you want to go up to the mountains? We can go see the snow. We can do this or that. So instead of saying what I want to do, I throw out ideas. So somebody asks me a direct question, what do you want to do? And sometimes instead of answering the person directly, sometimes with us air signs, we might throw out ideas instead of giving a direct answer, which is not what the person was asking us. They were asking us for an answer, and instead we throw out ideas and tell them to answer it. So it's like, what do you want to eat? Well, do you want Mexican? Do you want Italian? Do you want, Colombian? It's like now you're asking a question with a question. Now you're trying to put it back on the person. So basically all of this is, if you find that you have a very passive way of speaking, a very passive way of writing, whatever it may be, when people ask you questions, you end up answering with a question instead of an answer, or trying to put it back on the other person to get them to come up with an answer. This might be a time for us to work on being more direct in our speaking, clearing up our speech in a particular way so that we're more easily understood. And remember that oftentimes, which is what I used to tell my students, that oftentimes when people get into fights or arguments, it's due to a lack of communication. It's a communication breakdown. One person heard one thing, the other person heard another thing, and then you have the communication breakdown. But if both parties are being as clear as possible and trying to be as clear and direct as possible, not passive, not throwing out ideas, not putting it into the other person's court, you might find that there's less communication breakdown, therefore less arguments and disgruntled people. So, all right, let's get clear. Okay, so let's see what you guys came up with. Angela said, you may have dodged a bullet even if your life is upside down, it's falling into place and isn't as bad as it could have been. Don't stress. Susie said, for the airheads, yeah, that's us. Susie's like, we all do. And Susie said, be direct. Oh yes, it is hard. Yes, George says, you didn't tell me that. I thought I did. Yeah, that happens. It's like, oh, but I did say that. It's like, well, actually, I didn't say that in that words, but I implied it. It's like, but sometimes people don't understand our nudgings and implications. Like, it would just be easier, I guess, if we just worked on being direct. Yes, Susie, it went past my head because I am an airhead. Yes, I thought I did. Oh, Susie, thank you. I would be more than happy to pull you a card at the very end. Silver Star says, I do that. Guilty. Wow. Okay, all right. So let's put this deck off to the side and let's get into that special question. So I'm so glad that, I'm counting up the votes from my YouTube members, from my Patreon, because sometimes it really does come down to 1 or 2 votes for the special question. Those of you that are new to the channel, if you don't know what the special question is, usually on a Thursday or sometime before Sunday, I post 4 questions on my YouTube channel's community page. And those 4 questions are posed to my Patreon people, to my YouTube members, and then to the public. And so the winning question is the one that I pull cards for during the live chat. And so the question that won by a few votes was, what message does the goddess Lilith bring at this time? The message that the goddess Lilith brings at this time, which, by the way, remember, our deities are also aspects of ourselves. So it's our Lilith aspect. What are we trying to convey to ourselves at this time? So the goddess Lilith, what is her message? Let's see. For that, I have the Black Light Tarot. I don't have a black light on me right now, so we can't go full blackout mode. Just assume that it's blacked out right now. Okay. Let's go back here. Susie said, everyone please help count because, I will miss 1 or 2. Thank you. Susie's like, oh, I'm off here. Yeah, Mama Lily. That's right, Angela. Okay, so here are the backs of those cards. They are actually really vibrant, but they really stand out when the black light's going. So Anyway, the message that the goddess Lilith brings at this time. Okay. Okay. Ooh, we have the Star card, which would look bomb diggity if this was in black light. Okay. Susie's like, I get confused by the end. Yeah, I can't even speak words by the end. Words, what are those? Anyway, so the Star card, let's see. Lilith, what do you got going? What's your message? Follow your gut instinct. Follow your intuition. Some will say they do, but do you really? In your intuition, in your guidance, yourself, your highest self, this is where lay truth. Many of you have been conditioned to find truth outside of yourself, truth within another person, truth within the talking heads on the television, truth within the printed newspaper. But if all are having a unique experience and perspective on this planet, how can one other person's truth be your truth? How can another person or group of people say that their truth is the ultimate truth and you should be ostracized or reprimanded, made to keep small, if your truth is different? Truth is just truth, but it does depend on the source. The truth from the ego is limited. The truth from your higher self is infinite. Listen to that truth, even if it differs from scholars, from the voices you deem most powerful, intelligent, higher up. Still, listen to your truth. This is an ultimate test. To go against the truth of the 3D world is a large task, but it is not an impossible one. Remember that you are not alone. Everyone is one, including your enemies. They are also you. So, continue to follow your guidance. Continue to listen to that truth. Don't shun it. Don't make it small. Don't try to hide it. Voice it, live it, speak it. And you give others the permission slip to express their truth, to live out their mission on this planet. This is one of many ultimate missions of everyone on this plane of existence. But to accept the truth of another without listening to your own truth is to deny your own power. if you would wish to regain your power, listen to that intuition. Within there is freedom. Okay, whoa. On that, I'm gonna need a drink of water. Hold on. Okay, Lilith coming in strong there. Okay. Woo! All right, let's see. Let me go back here. Lisa, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I will definitely pull a card for you at the end. It could be a general read, it could be a question. You let me know. Angela said, 8 of Swords in the upright. Watch your dreams. There might be messages there that might be healing for your mind going on, and watch, record, listen, pay attention. For the love of all that is, pay attention. And channeling sounded flustered. Do we not pay attention enough? If it's not in our face, obviously, as a collective, subtle signs can be everywhere or anywhere, dreams and in the waking world. If we'd only stop running, say, F it, I'm taking a break and relaxing, and really start looking, you'll see you're not ignored by whatever you feel is divine. You may just be missing the subtle things because you're going too fast. Yes, slow it down, slow it down. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay, so then, all right, so we have Alexandra, we have Susie, we have Lisa. All right, I can dig it. All right, so you guys are on the list to get a card pull at the very end. We got one more thing to do, and then we'll get to those super chats and super stickers. Okay, so this is the one where we get to vote. All right, Lisa said it's going to be a general read. You got it. For the inner child, you got it. All right, so Susie's asking if you guys could help her count. Me too. You guys help me count. Okay, here's the 2 questions. You guys get to vote live here in this chat. This is kind of one of the perks of being in a live chat, plus being able to hear all your friends in here and pull cards. But first question, if you like it, give it a red heart emoji. If you don't have emojis, just type the words red heart, okay? If you like the second question, give it a red or a green heart emoji, or just type the words green heart. And then we're gonna count up all the red hearts, we'll count up all the green hearts to find our winning question. Here we go. Question number 1 for a red heart. Silver Star, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you. I will pull a card for you too. All right, so for a red heart emoji, what message does my home have for me? What message does my home have for me? And I came up with that one because we're going to be going into Ben in Mayan astrology Saturday of next week, or this upcoming week. So what message does your home have for you? If you like that question, give it a red heart emoji. I feel like I'm a politician. Okay. Number 2, what is preventing me from getting the grounding I need? Because we're talking about earth signs, Taurus. So if you like that question, give it a green heart emoji, or just type the words green heart. All right, so to recap, in case you missed it, vote red heart for what message does my home have for me? Vote green heart for what is preventing me from getting the grounding I need? All right, you guys ready for a little Jeopardy music? And we're gonna do a little count. And Silver Star will definitely add you to the list. Okay, here it goes. Do 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 do. Okay, looks like we have a bunch of votes here. Let's go ahead and add them. I'm gonna start with green because Princess What's Her Name had the first green vote. So Princess What's Her Name, green. Kayla, green. Alexandra, green. Butterfly voted both, green. Silver Star has green. Okay, so that's 5 for green. Let's look at red. All right, our first red was Mimi Lulu. Next red was Lisa. Angela voted red. Susie voted red. And Butterfly voted the other red. Okay, So 5 to 5, unless let me check again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 to 5, it's a tie. If there's somebody else in this chat that would like to be a tiebreaker, all I need is a red heart or a green heart.
Don't ask me, you already know.
Well, I already know what the tiebreaker would be if we were to ask James. So I guess we'll go ahead and do that tiebreaker. All right, Lisa said, I heard guitar legend Buckethead playing the Jeopardy music on YouTube this week. I thought of us all. That's nice. Nice. Okay, well, James always votes green.
Choose my question.
What?
Choose my question.
And yeah, technically, like coming up with the questions, he created the second question. I created the first question, so he's technically voting for his own question. So anyway, that's the tiebreaker. It looks like it's green. So here we go. This is the green vote, you guys. What is preventing me from getting the grounding I need? Let's check it. I decided to, as you can tell, I've been using kind of cheeky decks for this week's reading. So I am busting out the Rebel deck. Susie says thank you. So this is the Rebel deck game edition. Like, well, it's the Oracle. And so I thought it would be funny since they have such interesting messages, and I wanted to see what my intuition can get from the Rebel deck messages. So Silver Star said, yep. Angela got the 10 of Cups reversed. All right. Okay, so let's make sure this is just the cards here. Okay. Okay, so the question, what is preventing me from getting the grounding I need? So what I'm going to do is pull a scenario card and I'm going to pull an answer card. Together they make one message, and we'll see what message we get for that. So you'll see, it's a little quirky. Okay, so whoops, I got an answer card in there. Okay, so we'll shuffle the scenario cards. And I'm gonna put that face down, and then, oops, let's put that over there. And then I'm gonna shuffle an answer card, and we'll put that down. So what is preventing me from getting the grounding I need? Okay, so I have that face down, and then let's take a look at it together. All right, let's see. Angela says, we're obsessing over missed opportunities as a collective, trying to go back to where we were before when we just can't be. Sometimes you can't go back. Silver Star saying thank you to James as well. Angela said, you can't get what you could have gotten, but you will get what is meant for you. The key to grounding is to let go of what didn't come to you because it wasn't yours. I pulled a what happens if we do that and got the 9 of Wands. We'll get a new, even more magical harvest and things likely better than what we lost, and be the best version of ourselves if we put in the work. And Silver Star said it's 12-12. Okay, so what's preventing us from getting the grounding we need? It says, I'm obsessing about my own shit. Learning more about astrology, numerology, or personality type will help me get over myself. All right, dude, if that isn't so, like, in line and appropriate. So, all right, Susie, we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. So what's preventing us from getting the grounding we need? Well, it looks like we're a little bit too much in our ego. We're too much in our little personal bubble here, not seeing the bigger picture, not seeing from the expansive point of view that is our higher self. One way that some people get to that expansive point of view and their higher self is through tarot cards, through astrology, through numerology, through different tools in order to access their higher self. Some people just go straight into their higher self. You know, it just depends on what works for you. So if you're feeling that you're very ungrounded, it could be because you're very unbalanced on the inside. Remember that we're two things. We have you know, an ego and a human self, but we also have our infinite divine self. And so if the ego has taken over, it again feels very small, it feels very trapped, and it might be very hard to become grounded because there's all this worry, frustration, rat race, material world, 3D world, you know, and there's not a whole lot of grounding in that. But there's actually way more grounding when you do start listening to that intuition. You start coming or connecting with that higher self and listening to its messages, which the messages are yours. They are for your best and highest good. And that's where we find the grounding that we need, because it can be quite terrifying if we're in a world where we feel powerless and we're running around trying to get any sort of iota of stability, you know, in a very unstable feeling world. But when you realize that, hey, I'm always safe, I'm connected, I'm loved by the infinite love of the universe, the thing that I am a part of, then yeah, you start to feel more settled, more grounded, more fulfilled, just better. And so that's what brings us down, and that's what grounds us. So sure, we have grounding tools. You know, we have grounding stones. We have, you know, sometimes grounding food. We have, you know, other things, places that we go to that feel very grounding. But if you want that ultimate grounding, that's the divine connection to you, the infinite part of you, the you that is the most free. That's the part that brings you the stability, the calm, the that breath of fresh air. So, all right, okay, Rebel Deck, coming in strong. I could dig it. All right, so this is where we get into our one card pull for all our super chats and super stickers. And if anybody else wants to get on that train, go ahead and drop your question in a super chat or a super sticker, and I will be pulling a card from my random Galaxy Cats playing cards. Okay, let's see. Lisa said 1 2 1 2 12 12. 1 2 is real prominent for me. Dude. Angela said 8 of Swords reversed. Jumped out of the deck like ding ding. You got it, Buttercup. Silver Star says so true. Our ego definitely in alignment. All right. So Angela is coming in with her question. She was the first person to drop in a super chat, super sticker. Let me just get your cards out here. There we go. By the way, it's my little playing card deck, courtesy of my friend Steph. She knows me so well. Okay, so Angela had a question. What can I expect for the upcoming rest of the year? Okay, so just something to look forward to for the rest of 2022 we're in. I almost said 2012. 2022. Okay. All right, Alexandra, here we go. Before I pull your card, Alexandra, just the things that I'm seeing, just certain symbols. I see, well, I don't really see John Lennon, but I hear that song, Imagine. I was playing, you know, Imagine all the people. So that song is playing, and there's the yellow birds flying all about, so probably canaries. I mean, I associate with yellow with birds with canaries. So yellow canaries flying all around. You got John Lennon singing the song Imagine. And for some reason, a winking crocodile. Wow. I don't know what that all means to you, but let's pull a card and find out. Okay. We have the Three of Hearts, which is like the Three of Cups. And what is happening in this picture? This is like a kitten holding two hot dogs, riding a panda. It's like a Viking kitten. Dude, this deck is freaking awesome. Okay, so let's dive into this one. Wow. Okay, what can Alexandra expect for the rest of the year? Surrounding yourself in the things that bring you ultimate joy. So I'm not necessarily talking about material things, but it could, but more the energy. So think about the energy that you feel most comfortable in, where you are just yourself, you're relaxed. What is going on at the time that you feel that way? Is it a particular setting? Is there particular music that's going on? Are there particular people that you're hanging around, or a lack of people that you're hanging around, that help to put you in that space where you feel like ultimate Alexandria? Like, I am just me. I can say what I want. I'm relaxed. I haven't a care in the world. I feel absolutely no stress. Pinpoint that energy. Try to find as many external things that are going on at that time, and also internally what is going on at that time when you feel that way. And if that's the energy that you would like to continue to be in, which you do have the ability to put yourself in that energy, if that's the energy you want to stay in for the rest of this year, then try to find ways in which you can recreate that energy on an almost daily basis, where you feel open and free. I can say what I want. I'm relaxed. Again, not a care in the world. So with Panda here, we think of pandas not as moving very fast. They move very slow. Remember, that was the theme for this week, and perhaps for you it's the theme for the rest of the year, to move slow and deliberately. When we feel rushed, we start to feel panicked, we start to feel anxious, we don't feel very good. Okay, so maybe that's not an energy that you're meant to be in. If people pushing you and saying, Alexandra, you gotta pick up the pace, you gotta move, you gotta go. And if that makes you feel anxious and gives all kinds of like panic attacks, and you don't feel good and puts you in a bad mental place, then maybe that's not the energy for you. And instead say, you know what, halt. You have boundaries. I don't work in that fashion. I don't operate in that fashion. I don't do my best work in that fashion. I'm going to move at a pace that is more comfortable for me, where I feel relaxed. I feel like I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the rest of 2022. So think more like this cat on top of this panda. The panda, it's moving at its own speed. What's this kitty cat doing? This kitty cat is just chilling, holding 2 hot dogs, no guilt. You know what? It wants to eat a hot dog. It's gonna have a hot dog. And by the way, my old cat, Wally, he eats hot dogs. It's kind of weird, but so if there are things that you would like to indulge in, or it could be some self-care that you want to indulge in, then I would say focus on that. That should be really your focus. Instead of what's coming for you, you're going to make what's coming for you for the rest of 2022. You are going to make it the best end of the year possible, and the power is within you. It's just pinpointing that feeling that you're in when you're totally comfortable. Again, looking at what the external factors are that are going on and what's happening with you internally at the time those things are going on, and try to recreate that until the end of the year. You might notice there are more opportunities, wink, wink, showing up for you, and just looking at things from a different angle that you wouldn't necessarily have seen if you were coming from a place of rush, 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 go, go, go. All right. So I hope that makes sense to you. So try to recreate your peaceful environments, and I think you'll have a much better end of the year. Okay, let's go back here. Oh wow, we going emoji crazy over here. Awesome. Let's see. Silver Star says that's a good song. Lisa likes the Viking kitty. She said it's 1919 over there. Kayla, thank you. Be more than happy to pull you a card. Silver Star says, whoa, 1221, 1221. Kayla coming in with some of the new emojis, and Silver Star. Okay, so Susie has her question. The question is the same. What to expect the rest of the year? Of course, of course. Alexandra, you are very welcome. So Susie said, then it's Liesel, then Heather, then Kayla, and just making sure that we have everyone. Okay, so Susie, what to expect the rest of the year? And I see some good stuff for Alexandra. You know, just gotta change your energetic space a little bit, and there's some good stuff coming. Okay. All right, Susie. Okay, so do a little tap in. Okay, Susie, I'm seeing a seesaw. And it looks like you as a little kid with another little kid having a grandmother on either side, and it's like they're helping you with the seesaw. You seem terrified, but at the same time you are laughing maniacally. You're having a good time. It's both. It's fun and it's terrifying. And so I just keep seeing this seesaw, but at no point is either little girl on this seesaw in danger. There is a grandmother right behind you, right behind the other little girl. You're protected at all times. If you fall off, they're there to catch you. Okay, so take that for what you will, but let's go ahead and pull you a card. Susie says, a seesaw, that's how I broke my arm, I swear. Only break, but I got gifts galore. Wow. And so you liked your cast. Oh my gosh. Well, this time you're not falling off the seesaw and breaking your arm. So that's interesting. You know, I've only broken my arm once, and it was my wrist. It was my right wrist, and I had the whole, like, I was like in 3rd grade. I had the whole arm cast that came all the way up here. I was like okay. Wow, Susie. Okay, so okay, you have this tiger that doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It's just chilling. And then you have like this gangsta like cat wearing a Burger King hat holding tacos. Interesting. And this is the Jack of diamonds. I guess some people will say it's the page, some people will say it's the knight. I'll say it's the page of pentacles. Let's see. Okay, let's dive into this one. Okay, gangsta cat on a chillin' lion with tacos. Oh, lest I forget. There is a unicorn horn on this tiger that is chillin'. Okay. Yes, gangsta Susie. All right, interesting. Okay. Okay. Woo! Actually, Susie, there's a lot of spirit energy coming in with this one. Again, it's both older women. I think they're both connected to you. It might have been 2 halves of you. That's interesting on that seesaw. So the older woman that was behind you could be a grandma. The other one could also be a grandma, but 2 older females again coming in for you. And they're the ones that are trying to help me out with this message. So you said that your one and only time you ever broke your arm was on the seesaw, correct? So when I saw you in my mind, you were terrified, but you were also having a lot of fun on that seesaw. And we could kind of look at life right now as kind of a seesaw. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. And when we're down, we're kind of like, but when we go up, it's like, oh wow, it's terrifying, but it's a lot of fun, right? And so there might be, this is a reminder that although life might be mimicking that seesaw at the moment, it doesn't mean that it's going to end in something breaking. It doesn't mean that you're going to get hurt. It just means that's the way it is. That's the energy. You have basically this gangsta kitty energy and this unicorn tiger that's just chilling there. in that energy, I see somebody who knows their worth, they know their power. You have grown so much since when you're a little kid, you have so many more tools. So now you can see that seesaw differently. So there's no need to fear the highs and the lows, fear what may feel like instability, because know that you're protected at all times. Although those older female energies coming in are very well, you're probably your grandparents and maybe your auntie, but they're also aspects of you. You're there to catch you. You would never let yourself become hurt in the sense that we think. So know that it's different this time around. Susie's a much bigger girl now. She's a much wiser girl now. And so you can have a lot more fun on that seesaw than maybe you did as a kid. And although you were able to turn a situation into a better situation, like you said, your cast was really cool to you. You got a lot of gifts from it. So take that into consideration, that wisdom from little Susie into adult Susie as well. So yeah, adult Susie might get a little scared with this seesaw motion, but think about the wisdom that the little version of you just gave yourself, which is there are a lot of gifts that come from our falls. The times that we think that, oh my gosh, it's so painful. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. But look at all the gifts that come from it. For you as a little kid, it was physical gifts, but let's take it into a symbolic thing. There are a lot of things that you receive, a lot of lessons, a lot of learning, a lot of healing that comes from what we think is seemingly the worst things to happen. So enjoy this seesaw moment. You are protected. You are right where you need to be at this moment. You're a lot more powerful, or not more powerful, but you understand your power more. You've always had this power, and you're in a much better place now. So the rest of 2022, make it your oyster, because it's all up to you. You have so many good things coming for you. So yeah, maybe it's gonna feel a little bit like this, but the reward is way more than never getting on that seesaw. All right, let's go back here. Susie said it was at the beach, no less, in San Diego, on the sand off the seesaw. You know what? I think I know. There's a few beaches that have those like old style, like we have like metal play equipment near one of our beaches. Interesting. Susie said it's the grandmas. As protected, I know I am. This has meant a lot. Thank you. You're very welcome. Annette, hey. All right, so Liesel is up next. You are very welcome, Susie. Okay, so Liesel, you said that you wanted, I think it was a general reading for your inner child. I think that was the question, but let me know if I'm wrong and I will pull you a card. Sorry, my wax from my candle fell off. So, okay, let's put that there. Okie dokie. All right, so general read from the inner child. Let's look here. Okay, Liesel, I don't know if it's because you told me that you had made, you had created a bass guitar, but for some reason I'm seeing Joan Jett, and she's doing the I Love Rock and Roll, song, but she's live, she's on stage, she's of course all in black, Joan Jett. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. This looks like it's back in the 80s. Just, I don't know, for some reason I just keep hearing her see that song, and it's like I'm with you, but we're front row, we're almost like in the mosh pit, and it's just like, yeah, just rocking out. It's so much fun. Nothing else to think about except I'm here in this moment listening to freaking Joan Jett in concert, and it's amazeballs. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about the past. I don't even care about the drunk guy behind me. I am here watching Joan Jett, and that's like the energy that I'm getting for your reading so far. Okay, so let's see what you get here. But dude, I would like to see Joan Jett in concert. um, let's see. Lisa said Joan Jett, one of my very favorites since I was literally a child. All right, well, you are rocking out front row in my mind's eye. So, okay. I love rock and roll. Put another time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. Put another time and dance with me. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh. Superstar pointed out it's 12:34. Yes. Okay. All right. So here we go. It is the Queen of Clubs, also known as the Queen of Wands. We have, what do we have here? There is a cat with lasers coming out of its, wait, what's happening here? Oh no, it's a cat with lasers coming out of its eyes. It's riding a dog with lasers coming out of its eyes, riding a dinosaur with lasers coming out of its eyes, surfing a pizza slice. Okay. You get all that? So okay, let's see what this means for Liesel. Okay, so Liesel's rocking out over there. Okay. From the inner child. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to explain it the best way that I can. As always. When we're born, we're all born badasses, right? We're all born divine, infinite beings, and we will continue to be so. But at a certain age, and it's different for everyone, we forget how badass we are. We forget our divine selves. And so it's almost like we have to relearn how powerful we are. And so Liesel, your inner child, is saying at one point, it's like you were born with the energy of a Joan Jett song. As you got older, it seemed like that was calcified, you know, like by no malicious intent, but family, people around you made you feel like you didn't have that kind of power. And as you got older and you started expanding your learnings, your understandings, you're asking questions, you're trying to open to all the information that's out there. In essence, you're reopening to that badassery, to the power that's within you. And so when I see this cat riding a dog, riding a dinosaur, it's like building on top of yourself, where, you know, this down here is your foundation. And like I said, I'm trying to explain as best I can. You are already divine and infinite, but you've had to relearn that. And it came in steps and stages. So in one stage, you know, Liesel learned this and this about herself. Okay. And she starts reclaiming her power. In another stage, oh, even more understanding. She starts regaining more and more power. Another stage comes and another stage comes. And so it's saying that you're on the right track. You're doing all the right things. You're following your bliss. You're following your highest self. You're doing things that are heart-based. Continue doing that. And every time you do that, you build and build and build upon yourself. And with every level, every chapter, you are more and more privy to the infinite power that is within you. So just like in the beginning, when I saw you and I in the mosh pit, front row at a Joan Jett and the Blackhearts concert, that energy, that feeling of just being present, just being here, that's the energy you want to continue to be in. That's the powerful energy that you are. And when we are in that energy, we don't want to be in the future. We don't want to be in the past. We want to be right here, because right here is where we feel all that power, all that energy, all that badassery. And so you've been doing an excellent job. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep following the things that light you up, because that's where you find your most powerful self, which has always been there, just as adults, we just have to relearn it for the rest of our lives. And so you're doing an excellent job. That's just what's coming through. It's keep doing it. Don't know how else to phrase it. Dude, I love that. I love the lasers. Lasers. Okay, let's see. Lisa said, I love it. I feel my inner child smiling from ear to ear. Yes, she is. Okay, so let's, what is it? You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so then, Heather? I believe Heather is next. I think, sure. Okay, so Heather's question was up here. A message from my higher self for the rest of the year, please. Sure. Will do. All right, and then we got Kayla. Okay. Okay. And then Kayla's going to do a general message. Okay, so again, a message from the higher self for the rest of the year. Let's do it. Okay, you know, I need a little bit of water. I'm getting a little chap. Elizabeth says, only just got here out of curiosity. Want to say hi, hello, welcome. Okay, hydration. Hydration is key. All right, so Heather, here we go. Okay, interesting, Heather. So now I'm seeing the movie Stargate. Remember, I think I remember seeing that movie when it came out in the theaters. That was in the 90s, I believe. And I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but on the other side of the Stargate, it looked like ancient Egypt, but it was kind of futuristic because it had some aliens, and I don't know, it's just like, I like that movie. It's pretty rad. But anyway, so I'm seeing the movie Stargate, and it's like you're also going through the Stargate with the actors in the movie. So it looks kind of like there's water in the Stargate ring. You know, it's a giant portal. It looks like a watery portal, and it's like stepping through to the other side. So I just want to point that out as the very first thing I see before I actually pull a card for you. So whatever that means for you, stepping through the Stargate. That's interesting. Susie said, is confusing Kayla for me with scrolling. Okay, so all right. Heather and her Stargate, a message from her higher self for the rest of the year. Oh, Silver Star says, I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie now. I understand. Okay, so we have Joker. So this is kind of like our Fool card, and we have the little dog actually from the Fool card, but this little doggy is riding a pizza. Yeah, Susie, it is a cool movie. All right, so let's dive into this one. Okay, so Heather, your higher self saying there's an aspect of your consciousness and your understanding that you are literally standing on the edge. So when I saw that Stargate, it's like you're standing right in the middle of it. Like you're just about to fall into that Stargate to see what's on the other side. You don't know what to expect. That's also like the Fool's Leap, right? You know, those people didn't know what to expect on the other side of this, what seems like an ancient device, but somehow it's a futuristic device and it doesn't make any sense. You know, it doesn't fit their little 3D world, so they don't understand it. And that's kind of where you're at right now. You're trying to use, or the ego is trying to understand using the 3D world what's going to be beyond this precipice that you're at. What's going to be beyond, and you're ready to dive into this new aspect of reality. It's not really new, it's just always been there. It's just that you're aware of it now, and you're ready to dive into it, but also the ego wants to hold you back a little bit because it's trying to figure out what could be on the other side. This is a little scary. I don't understand what's going on here. How could this be true if this is also true in the 3D matrix in reality? So it's another opening for you that's happening. And you understand it, I think, at a conscious level where you can talk about it and you can understand it that way. But it's now working at the subconscious level with the ego, where it's kind of preventing you from really stepping into that energy and that understanding and that truth and this new awareness that you have about a certain aspect of this reality. And this is the message from the higher self saying, if you continue to just allow the ego to try to quantify it and try to understand it, it's never going to understand it because it's beyond its dimension. The ego resides in a third dimensional consciousness. And the consciousness that you're trying to get into is beyond that. It's actually, it's more like 70 is the awareness that you're going into. And so you're just going to have to take a fool's leap. It might be really scary. It may feel really weird. People may not understand you because they're not at that consciousness level. Doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that they don't really see things from that point of view yet. So your higher self saying, if you feel in your heart that you're ready to truly dive into this, go ahead. Because if you sit around and wait for the ego, it's never going to be ready. It's going to find all the reasons why this doesn't make sense. It doesn't quite fit this world. I don't really quite grasp it. Maybe I'll just wait till I fully understand it. No, just go. Just go for it. Higher self's like, you got this. You understand it at a soul level, even if the ego doesn't. It's okay. Don't wait around for it. It's slow. All right. So yeah, diving in. Okay, let's see here. Susie said the pizza looks like a pyramid. Yes, yes. Silver Star says, love it. Yes, I shattered a glass the other day. I heard broke a generational cycle. I passed my test. Nice. Susie said, I love this, Heather. You have a Capricorn moon. This is usually what you just wrote to me too. In my case, my mom. And Silver Star said, wow, I understand. I've been working on letting it just happen and trust it will work out. Nice. Yay. All right. All right. Okay. Let me grab my charger real quick because for some reason my phone decided it's in low power mode right now. And then we'll get to Kayla's question. So Kayla, hold on just a second. I know she was going to want a general read. So I'm going to take my little microphone off. Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to plug it here so you guys don't hear all the shifting of my microphone. Okay. Okay, out you go. Out, out. What is happening here? I'm trying to see. It's wrapped around my necklace somehow. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me go get my power cord. Be right back. Okay, plugging the phone in. All right. Okay, so I can't use my microphone while my phone is plugged in, so we just got the crappy audio for now. Okay, so all right, lastly we have Kayla. Kayla's question. Oh, thank you. You like my pants? It's got like little skulls and flowers all over it. They're nice and loud. Okay, you know me, I have like such wacky taste. Silver Star, you are very welcome. Okay, so here we go. Kayla, let me dive in here. Let's see. Okay, well, other than there is an argument going on in the apartment next to us right now, or maybe upstairs, I'm not quite sure. Other than that, I was hearing, um, what was that? It was like in the very early 2000s. It was like a surf girl movie, and they were playing Ace of Base's reinvention of Cruel Summer. They're like playing it in the song. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe in the movie it doesn't matter. But it's these girls and they're surfing. um, and even though there could be some fear, I think in the movie there was this thing where somebody almost gets killed by a wave, and then all of a sudden there's like trauma with the waves, and I don't know if I can go back out there. Um, but eventually they do, and all is hunky-dory, I think is like the gist of the movie. Plus there's like some drama. Anyway, um, so that's the first thing I'm seeing is just there's an event or many events. It's fun at first, surfing, you're having fun, you're going with the flow. Something bad happens. We obtain trauma from that event. We become scared. So anything that resembles that event, we tend to steer clear of. And we decide it'll end just as badly as it did before. But remember, that's the past. We can't judge that as the present. There's one thing that I learned about jackrabbits actually on our property that ties in with kind of the message that's going on here with jackrabbits or rabbits in general. They can't rely on past information. They can't rely on anything that happened before because they'll become dinner if they do. They have to remain fully in the present. So if we continue to judge the present by what happened in the past, we'll keep reliving the past. And so we can't do that. Just like with bunny rabbits, if let's say a mountain lion was really nice to them in the past, and then they trust mountain lions all of a sudden, in the present, there's a mountain lion that maybe is not as nice as the mountain lion that was in the past, they're going to be eaten. And so again, it's the don't rely on the past to tell you how the present is going to pan out. So now let's pull a card for you. And now I have that song stuck in my head. It's a cruel, cruel summer, and now it's gone. You're not the only one. It's a cruel, cruel summer. Okay. All right. So we have another gangsta kitty here, and this kitty is riding a unicorn T-Rex. That's right. And holding up pizzas. Okay, so this is the Eight of Pentacles, basically Eight of Diamonds. Let me go back here. Lisa said cool trousers. Thank you. Yeah, Susie said it was Ace of Base. It was Blue Crush. Yes, Blue Crush, the movie. It was like came out in 2000 or early 2000s, somewhere there. Oh, Susie was wondering if Butterfly Love Child had a question. We weren't, I hope we didn't forget you. We'll pull a card for you too if Butterfly was in there. We'll definitely look back. Silver Star says, I always think of Karate Kid, weren't hear that song. Butterfly is like, no worries, I thought about, so maybe you were just reading me from afar. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay, no worries. Okay, so Kayla, let's dive into this one. So we got Blue Crush. We have Ace of Base singing Cruel Summer. And then we have not allowing past trauma to affect the present. So let's dive into this one. Okay, here we go. I think we got it. Okay, I don't know. For some reason, I always get a little bit more music with you in terms of messages. So I got Ace of Base blaring in one ear, and then the other ear, I have Third Eye Blind. And there's just one, in one of the songs, it says, you touch everything with a penalty glove. That's the only part of the lyric that I heard. And so it is definitely talking about taking a look at the things that you're afraid of in this present moment, just in this present moment. What are the things that you're worried about? What are the things that you're afraid of? What are the things that you say, oh, I'm definitely going to avoid that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try that. And this is a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge the things that you're fearful of, or that you worry about, or that you stress out about, or the things that you avoid, because now we're going to go into some deep healing. Because for too long, the past has dictated how your present will be. Hence the lyric, touching everything with a penalty glove, saying, oh, because somebody similar to this person in the past who caused, trauma or whatever it may have been, they're similar, therefore I expect a similar outcome with this person. And then we end up creating our reality from that. This situation that I'm in is very similar to a situation that is in the past. Therefore, maybe it's going to happen that way. It's just going to turn out exactly the same. But we fail to factor in the present. So in the past, sure, that's how it happened in the past. Nobody's saying that's wrong, or that you're incorrect about what happened in the past. Sure. But in the present time, you're different. The people around you are different. Everybody grows, everybody expands. We may have maybe kept a lot of our personality traits, but for the most part, our consciousness is different. Where we are in our life is different. The way we react to things is now different. So if all those factors have changed and all the people around us have changed, even our environment has changed, then how can we say that what happened in the past has any bearing of what's happening here in the present? It can't, because all the factors have changed, you being the biggest factor. So if you're having some doubts about some things, some worries about some things, some fears about some things, now's a great time to have your highest self maybe talk to your ego a little bit, maybe work on a little healing and say, you know what, I'm a different Kayla now. I'm a different Kayla than I even was at the beginning of this live chat. I grow, I learn, I expand. I have different tools in my tool belt now. So if presented with a situation that, let's say, is identical, the outcome must have to be different. Even if you're looking at this from a scientific perspective and doing a scientific test, it has to be different. When you change the factors, the outcome now changes. That's just how it is. And so if there are some things that are on your mind and there are some things that are worrying you, know that it's going to be different this time around. And so treat it like it's a different situation, because it is. It's in the present moment, it's in the present situation. So it's going to have to be looked at differently. It's going to have to be reacted to differently. How you enact things is going to be different, because you're a different person and the people around you have changed as well. So this should help to alleviate maybe some of the worries you've been having about certain things that are going on and certain things about the future, because what happened back then is going to stay back there. It can't happen again in the present. Too many factors have changed, unless you want it to happen exactly the same, which I don't think you want it to. Then it's going to change. It has to change. Too many factors have changed, so the outcome is different. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Susie said, thank you. I have a housekeeping question. Tara, when you and James move permanently, will you update us on your P.O. box for Yule, or let us know if the current one is good no longer? Yes, I will. We were actually thinking either this trip or the next trip we'll get our P.O. box up there, because although we have a physical address, we don't get, the mail truck doesn't go out that far. So we're going to have to get a P.O. box as like our permanent address. So I'll definitely let you guys know. But either it'll be maybe this weekend, or I mean next week when we go up, or the week after. I don't know. Well, we have to get that done soon, because I'm gonna have to start changing everything over for like bills and all that stuff. So I will let you guys know for sure. Kayla, you are very welcome. All right, so did we have anybody else? Making sure I'm not missing anyone. I'm like trying to adjust my microphone. I'm like, where is it? Okay, so I think that's everybody. In which case, we have come to the end, and it's time for a healing, which is like my favorite part of the chat. I mean, I love interacting with you guys, but I also love doing healing. So, okay, so Butterfly says, nope, I think you're good. Okay, excellent. So, for this healing, let's go ahead and pull from our Wally's World to see where we could direct our healing, maybe what we could work on for our own personal healing beyond this live chat. And then if you guys want to join in, I think that it's way more fun when more people are joining in with their energy and pushing out their healing. However it is you heal, maybe you do Reiki, maybe you guys have a unique way of doing distance healing. Maybe you do the Care Bear stare. I don't know. Maybe you have Shira's, sword pushing out your healing that way. I don't know. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna direct our energy for this week's healing. Let's see. What was her sword's name? I know that Adora was like her human self, and then she was Shira when she was Shira. What was her sword's name? I can't remember. I know she had a name for her sword. I call myself a Shira fan. Jesus. Okay. Oh, all right. Silver Stars, yeah, I think you got everybody. Thank you, thank you. Says this is the end, my friend. I just heard, oh yeah. And then Susie said, Jim Morrison, yes. Love Jim Morrison. And Susie said Val Kilmer was really cute, really. Hey, I found out in when he created or did, well, he didn't create the movie, but when he played Jim Morrison in that movie, there were parts in the movie where it was actually Val Kilmer singing and it wasn't Jim Morrison. That's interesting. Okay, so this is the card that came up, and this was taken in Sunset, East County, San Diego, on the way home. So this is out on the 8 freeway, I believe. So kind of way out east. So let's go in and let me see what this means for our healing. Okay. So many of us, in the northern hemisphere, but this, yes, applies to the southern hemisphere as well. We don't exclude anybody. Everybody's on the planet. But just for point of reference, in the fall, we see things fall, right? The leaves fall from the trees. They turn colors depending on your region. But perhaps at this time, for our best and highest good, for our healing, is to leave the past in the past. And when we say this, it's not to say that we forget, or if anything, was terrible that happened in the past, to forget that ever happened, or to say that, who so and so who hurt you was right for doing so. We're not saying that. When we say leave the past in the past, we're saying, if all of those things, just like along with Kayla's reading, all of those things in the past were there to teach us lessons. We learned from those things. We grew. We kind of figured out our own self. We woke up to certain things because of those things in the past. But that's kind of where they're meant to stay, because we're creating a very beautiful present here. And so in this wonderful, beautiful present, as we get ready to exit this year, going on into 2023, and we remain here in this present moment, let's use this healing to help us release the past, because it's encroaching too much on our present, and we don't want our past to repeat. We don't want those things to repeat. Even if they were really awesome, let's create some awesome new moments here, because this is where we want to be. I don't want to be back there. I mean, sure, like the 90s were cool and the 80s were great, but I mean, right here is the most awesome. So let's do that for our healing today. Okay, so just focusing on release. And what better time with this full moon eclipse, right, in Taurus? Get ourselves nice and grounded, and let's just start
releasing that stuff, you know, thanking the past for what it was. You know, you taught me a lot of things. I am who I am now because of it. I've grown a lot, I've expanded a lot, but I'm going to take this present moment, I'm going to move forward with it. So let's do it. um, Susie said, nice. Susie said, 2023, the year of the rabbit, Alice in Wonderland symbology. Nora Gibran, hey, how are you? Susie said, this was a great chat and messages. I do remember you. And I tried to text you on Instagram, but it hadn't responded. But on Instagram, all you have to do is just let me know your question. I'd be more than happy to pull you a card. But I don't know, it was kind of a back and forth. But anyway, I'm still there on Insta. No worries. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I want to use my singing bowl here. So I'm gonna get a little bit of water. And whatever you guys do to push out this energy of let those fall leaves fall, basically AKA our past, let it just fall away, ha ha ha. And we'll focus on the present as we get to make whatever we want in the present. Okay, so here we go. Whoa, sorry for it being so loud. Okay, find yourself a nice, comfortable space. Get cozy, you can lay down, you can sit down. Just make sure that your spine is as straight as you can make it without being stiff. So you don't need to sit up straight like this, just straight enough, you know, as straight as you're comfortable with making your spine. We just want that nice column of energy flowing through from our highest chakras all the way down our root chakra, down into Mama Gaia, and then we're gonna bring that energy up from Mama Gaia, up through our root, all the way up through our highest chakras, up back into source, creating a beautiful column of energy, coming and going, energy traveling in and down, energy traveling up. Just feel into this. Just nice and relaxed. And as you feel this energy moving through you, Gaian energy, source energy, you're reminded that you are both of these worlds. You are human, you are infinite, you are a fascinating energy. You are one with the collective, yet you are also unique. Just let that swirl within your body, feeling that earth energy, feeling that source energy. Just allow it to relax you even further. All the way down, relax, relax, relax. All the way down the arms, down the torso, down the legs, down the hands, all the way out to the tips of your toes. Feeling absolutely amazing in this present moment. You have the unique ability of being a part of two seemingly opposite worlds, yet they're not so opposite. Just feeling into this present moment. Now I want you to go ahead and focus on your breath. Just like the ebb and flow of our oceans, the lunar cycle of the moon, everything wanes in and out, in and out. And so is your breath, a reflection of the outside world, or perhaps the outside world is a reflection of you. Let that breath wane in and out, ebb and flow. on your next inhalation, I'm going to ask you to take a nice deep breath into the stomach, into the lungs, into the diaphragm. You're going to expand your entire self. You're going to fill yourself with this present moment in all its beauty and all its gratitude. I want you to think of every little thing that you're grateful for the ability to not only breathe this deep breath, but for you being here in this present moment, to perhaps the roof over your head, the food in your belly, and the clothes on your back. Think of all the gratitudes. I want you to breathe in those gratitudes. I want you to have it fill every organ, every cell in your body. Let it become a part of you. Let it flow in your blood. Ebb and flow. And when you exhale, I want you to take a nice, complete exhale. Empty your body of all air. Get it out. And this is the past. Any part of the past that hinders this beautiful, gracious present moment, we are going to release right now. And we thank it for remaining in the past. There you go. Continue breathing in those gratitudes, breathing out the past. Breathe in the present. Breathe out what came before. And I'm going to hit the singing bowl a few times. You guys continue breathing, continue your gratitudes and the things that you wish to release. You guys, I hope you enjoyed that. You guys put out such good energy. It felt so good. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Throwing up the grateful signs, gratitude. I love it. Ooh, Lisa was using her Athame. Awesome. Susie saw a couple of orbs today. That is freaking awesome. Everyone have a safe eclipse too. Yes, same for all of you. I hope that you have a wonderful full moon in Taurus. I hope that you have a fun, safe, and healing lunar eclipse. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a good week. So again, like, you know, it's my live chats are going to be kind of sporadic just until we get everything moved up there. And then after that, I go back to being more consistent. So I don't think I will see you guys next weekend, but the weekend after I probably will. So I thank you so much. I thank you for everybody who allowed me to pull a card for them. Norj, I remember you. Yes. Remember, hit me up on Instagram. All you have to do is tell me your question. I'll pull a card for you. Thank you, Susie, for staying on top of things and helping me out and put the questions and everything. And yeah, thank you. And before I forget, as if I could forget, my YouTube members, which by the way, if you're interested in the YouTube membership, the link is down below. But Susie, Liesel, Heather, Kayla, Jamie, thank you guys all so much. And then for my Patreon homies, Surian, Brandy, V, who's in here earlier, Samara, Kirsten, Kayla, Sarah, Jason, Charles, Brian, Grace, and Jamie. So thank you all very much. I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned because I'm going to be having a giveaway soon because guess what? We are over 9,000 subscribers now. That is amazeballs. So stay tuned. I'm going to have a giveaway, but it'll be kind of like a double giveaway because well, you'll see. I'll give you guys all the deets because it does include my YouTube members and Patreon and of course everybody that's subscribed to the channel. So stay tuned for deets. I'm already getting together all the things that I want to give for the giveaway. I have a couple of brand new decks that I would like to give away and some other witchy goodies. So stay tuned. Love you guys. Catch you later. Have a great Sunday. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye guys.